Guys, back on Restream. AWS is back up. We're back live on the native platform. So, yeah, dude. Yeah, market's bouncing. I'm not sure what happened in the last hour or two, but we got New York open and market's been looking really good since. So, how we doing, Chill?
Chilling like a villain. Honestly, guys, things are looking decent. Bitcoin's bouncing, market's looking good. Two fire guests coming on the show today. So I'm ready. I'm ready. Actually, you know what? Let me just pull up the charts. Let's just go straight to the charts real quick. Let's just go straight to the charts real quick. Look, I told you guys, been literally saying the same thing every time we look at this Bitcoin chart. Support is support until proven otherwise. So we got the nice bounce off this support zone. We did breach it for a second there. Um, However, we did talk about this. We did talk about this chart, right? The moving average on the weekly. We mentioned that, and let me take this FEG thing off. So I mentioned that we bounce off this area every time we get close to interacting with this moving average here. We bounce off it, and we're pretty close to touching it. We didn't exactly touch it, but I mean, look, we got in the zone. We're bouncing off of it. Maybe we got some consolidation, like we've seen in these other areas, right? Like we got some consolidation, like here we barely touched it, then we went back down to retest and came back up. Like we still could have some sort of like consolidation um to go here, but my point was, especially when you guys saw that I tweeted out the other day, whether we bottomed or not, that's up for the charts to decide how much lower or how much consolidation we have. But all I do know is it's not over until we absolutely breach this this SMA. Like I'm still bullish. Like everyone's calling for a top. YouTubers coming out saying the bear market started, etc. Like I'm not with none of that. Job's
Man,
not
Bitcoin's
done.
bouncing hard though, huh? Jeez.
Hard, hard. Actually, let's look in a little bit on the low time frame, because I did point out to you guys as well, and in a few tweets, that I was looking for us to hold above this line here, this MA, this 200 SMA. Uh, we broke a we broke below the flash crash lows right there, but we reclaimed it. And when I put out a tweet here, I was like, okay, well, this was a breakout and retest. We retested again, so I'm confident that this estimate will start to hold. In other words, I feel like momentum is shifting.
Yo, Chill. Your mic is just giving
Again,
me the work right now. You want a little testing? I don't think we even told you guys, but or maybe Chill did mention we got Jones right on today from Left Curve. Going to be an exciting conversation. That's pretty much one of the biggest and best performing groups in on-chain crypto right now. So it'll be a great conversation. Obviously, good friends of the show with Jones, and then we got Starseed on right before this Meteor TGE. We got them coming on talking about how to DLLM, how to use their Starseed platform, make it easy for you. Because I saw Batman, their founder, got 100,000 MET tokens from this. So yeah, what's going on, Josh? How we doing?
Good. How you guys doing? Good morning.
Pretty good, man. Just chilling. Just kind of.
Nice little pump there on the old BTC charts, eh?
It's moving, dude. It was I remember waking up last night at like 5 a.m. We were down like 2.5%. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of those days. Down 1.5%, one of those days. But now the CS green's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it.
There, you're better, Chill.
Definitely love it. Got to shout out my Galaxy Digital this morning. Hit $46 again. $14 on Lowe's from the Josh call to $46. Galaxy Digital leading the digital asset institutional space.
Man, Josh with the Galaxy call.
All-time highs, baby.
Dude, only equity call on the show, and we're giving you crypto returns. Let me see what else. What other charts do we have? Let me take a look at two charts first.
Pump's looking real good.
Which one is that?
Pump.fun.
Yeah, Pump. That was the other one that I wanted to look at. I've been trying to because I was looking at it just the other day, and I'm like, this little downtrend here is not gonna last, because same thing on Bitcoin. This 200 SMA on the 30-minute, we flipped it over the weekend, and I watched it happen for a few GICMA. I watched it happen for a few tickers. BTC obviously was the one leading the charge, but then it happened for Pump, and I believe it even happened for Doge, if I'm not mistaken. But Pump was like the one that stuck out to me, because obviously we have Pump kind of moving in this ICM direction, and we have Dev Fund Pump. Oh gosh, the name. We got Dev Fund Pump coming on. I believe it is tomorrow. So yeah, I think this was like a really nice chart, and to me it looks primed. When you look on the 8-hour, you see that I've been trying to experiment with the FEGs. So on the 12-hour, we did have one, and we basically retested it. So that's what you see drawn out there. But yeah, I'm trying to really get better at these at using these FVGs, because it's
Why did you want to implement fair value gaps? What happened? What made you throw that into your mix?
So I'm just for better confluence on perps.
Okay.
So instead of just a straight up, for example, like an inverse head and shoulders, or just like a support or resistance, like when you have confluence with fair value gaps, like it just adds a little bit more confirmation.
Okay, so you're confluence, for confluence purposes. That makes sense. When you just what traded when it taps the bottom of the fills the FVG, or
so you can basically set it to where anywhere inside the fair value gap is a good entry, and then your stop would be right below. And basically, this is honestly, I had a homie tell me like, hey, look, this is probably exactly what's going to happen, because I actually had played this out. I thought this was on the 4-hour. I thought this was like a little bit of a head and shoulders here, and he was like, right where your stop is right where my entry would be, and it's within this fair value gap on the 12-hour. And he was like, more than likely we're gonna come down and retest the fair value gap before we make any big moves. And so that's exactly what we did. We retested the FVG, and then now we're moving. So yeah, just good areas of confluence.
Thanks for pulling that up. I was actually looking for that, dude. So they're still burning. What's the burn rate look like? They got purchases.
They're still
moving, right on, man, with revenue. Yeah,
about $250 million a day. It looks like around the 1 million USD mark. Obviously, as Sol moves up, this is denominated. So as Sol moves up, these numbers actually will increase, given that the Sol revenue is the same. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of actually trending up a little bit, which is good to see. But I think the big story here again, I mean, we tracked this, I think it was at 6% or 7%. So I don't know, another 200 basis points percent burned in the last kind of 2 weeks.
So they're doing 1 million a day in buybacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have to understand, bro, on-chain has been dead on Solana. People have gone to BNB. I even see people going to Base. Solana has not really been popping yet. You know,
I'm kind of surprised they're still making $1 million a day in revenue. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
guys, you
think
gotta
it's what
understand.
held Pump at its ICO price. So like even entries here, if we go back to Chill's chart, like 4,000 it was the ICO price. So all the tokens currently circulating at 4,000 here are paid like bought tokens. There's no dilution in this. On top of that, you've got that 9% that's now come off the market.
And VC was insta unlocked for this, right?
Yep, I believe so.
I believe so, yeah.
No, this looks like a real nice chart, especially
Yeah.
considering the market sentiment right now.
I agree.
And then you also have the fact, again, we'll talk about this all the time, the fact that they're that they're venturing into ICM, GICM Andrew, GICM Richie. I mean, the fact that we'll you know, I just got distracted by a message. My bad. The fact that we're dead on chain and they're still like generating this type of revenue. Plus, keep in mind that they have it's probably 1.5 to 2 billion in as far as a war chest is concerned right now. So we're still, we're still chugging along, man. Chart looks good for
Yeah, they got a little bit of bread to throw around.
Yep.
Before we get Jones on, can we do quickly G Fartcoin, and I'll pull Jones on here so we can test Mike.
Yep, I
Do
will. I can pull that up.
G
I have it
Fartcoin
on my thing. Let me pull up. And we gotta run through MetaDAO. I think I've seen Jones is a fan of the MetaDAO and Avicii, so like, I'll have him come up for that. But yeah, let's see G Fartcoin. Fartcoin, for those who don't know, this is the game coin for Fartcoin, launched on OG Protocol. Here's my thought process here, guys. It's at 152K. For those that don't know, this is OG Protocol launched G Fartcoin, right? This is a game coin tied to Fartcoin. The Fartcoin holders have to stake Fartcoin to get this unlocked. It's unlocked. Now, this is their in-game currency that they'll use. Okay. That being said, for OG Protocol to really win in a big way, they need like a champion. And with G Fartcoin being at 152K, it's like the game coin for Fartcoin. I feel like this is probably the one they climb up, if anything. So, I don't know, 152K, the RR is kind of there. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite pick, but like it's probably not the worst pick. I don't know. I could definitely see
worth a lotto ticket at this point. I mean, you're betting on ultimately Justin, again, CEO of Zanga. Zanga was a $12 billion company when they took it private. So this is kind of that play.
Yeah.
And I'd say this as well. They haven't went full force yet, right? Like they haven't even launched or anything like that. The token isn't here yet. So I think there's just a lot of like short-term catalysts. We know that within the next few weeks, there's going to be a ton of ICM launches. So and who, OG Protocol likely one of them. So it's just one of those things where this could take some time to play out. Might not want to bet the farm, but hey, look, we're worth a little lunch money.
Yeah. On that note too, it's like OG Protocol, just like Chill said, it's in its early stages. We know Justin's got these relationships. Right now, it's just indie games. It's small games that are integrated, but I really don't see a world where Justin doesn't go out and integrate some of these big, more well-known games. Maybe it's not Battlefield, maybe it's not Fortnite, maybe it's not, GTA 5, whatever. But I do see Justin kind of going and integrating big games, and then, pairing that with the ability to get paid to play these games. I think it's a good RR there. So that being said, we'll let Jones Rida come on and speak a bit to us. Excited to talk to him. Obviously, he is the founder. I guess maybe not the founder. Sleuth is the founder of Left Curve, but co-founder. I don't even know how I should properly address this, Jones. But owner right now of Left Curve DAO. Amazing trader, fantastic friend, and we're excited to talk with you. So, Jones, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, everybody hears me?
You're good.
Just
all
a quick sound check. I had some problems before.
Oh,
yeah, thank you for the invitation. Actually really excited to be here. just to get it straight, Sleuth is the founder, right? And he handed it over to me a couple of months ago. I'm not even sure how long I'm in the lead already, but yeah, it's been a blast.
Man, good.
Definitely.
We're glad to have you. Chill's up here. He's the most recent addition to Left Curve. He's been loving it. I remember we were talking. He's like, man, I think I'm just gonna make Left Curve my main chat, dude. I love these guys. It's an awesome chat. So you've done
Congrats,
a great job.
Chill.
Look, Jones, appreciate the invitation. And yeah, no, I mean, just speaking from first experience, Left Curve just has a ton of um just level heads, man. A lot of people that look at the market in different ways. And there's a lot of groups out there that there's different traders, but everyone trades on chain, or everyone trades in the same place. But on Left Curve, everyone like kind of does their own thing, but comes together in such a beautiful way to just kind of help each other. And it's smooth, it's awesome. I don't know how else to put it. So really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you and thanks for the kind words. Basically, with like with the server, it's like you said it. Like there's specific servers that like only like Solana, shitcoin, pump fund based. Some are just like base stuff. Some are, you name it, like perps and everything. They specify on some things, and we're trying to make sure that the server has all kinds of alpha. Like a couple of months ago, we asked ourselves, or some of us asked ourselves, so what's missing? Like, do we have some specific people who are really good at specific stuff? And then I try to make sure that we have like the whole variety of people in there, so nothing's missing, you know. I think it's really important also, yeah, that you have all these people in order to make sure that we're really alpha, you know.
And I mean, in that vein, I just wanted to just take a step back for a moment. I mean, just kind of educate the audience on how you even came to be introduced to whether it is Sleuth, Left Curve. Kind of explain what Left Curve is and how you got there.
I think I might start really at the beginning. Like how I found my way into crypto was like first through Bitcoin, and I was kind of solo riding, I'd say, for quite some time, following a lot of the wrong people, you know.
Of course.
Just how it is when you start like making a Twitter account, and then I mean you are inexperienced guy and you see like all the scam and shit that's going on Twitter, and obviously you think like the guys with big amounts of followers, they are the ones to follow, you know. That's the first mistake
Nope.
you can do, yeah. So I've been just doing shit all day and losing trades, and didn't even have any clue about like anything crypto related. And then I suddenly stumbled across this guy named MC Sleuth. And I think it was during the times when he had this AI challenge where he kind of had a really viral moment. And Left Curve back then was not called Left Curve. It was totally different. It was just some sort of server where Sleuth occasionally sent like a free invite link on Twitter, and you had to be fast. And basically, it was just luck I landed there because I just seen this really early, got in there, and that was the moment I joined a server that was back then not called Left Curve, but yeah, some OGs still in there, but obviously a lot of things changed. Yeah, not like server anymore where you just post a free link and anybody can join. Since I've probably, I think Dom knows this. I spent like countless of hours, like probably hundreds of hours, just interrogating people, interviewing people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay, tell me why should you join and everything, and also had really really good discussions. But not everybody fits in there. Sometimes you talk to people for 2 or 3 hours and you're totally convinced, okay, they are nice additions, but they don't live up to what they said. They're not as active. And that's a constant process. We always, yeah, try to refine this. Some people get purged, some make space for some new people, and I think now we're at a stage where, yeah, where there's not a lot things to do anymore to make it like
Much better.
better. Yeah, it's really good. It's great.
So Jones, why is that important? Why is it important to keep constantly fresh people coming in? Why is it important to do these? You spend hours and hours a day, countless hours. You said interviewing people to just make sure they fit right with left curve. Some work, some don't. Why is it important to do that in such a high level group like this?
Well, it wouldn't be as important if everybody's always like stays active, but it's just the name of the game. Some people just lose interest in crypto. Some people can't live up to a gazillion chats they have. I mean, I'm pretty sure some people join because of kind of FOMO. I gotta be in the server, but it's like that tense server, you know. Obviously, sometimes you got some sort of loyalty to the earlier ones you're in. Um, I mean, um, therefore, it's just simply important to always make sure that the people that are in that they are active. Um, no shame if you can't be active for some time. I mean, like sometimes I tell everybody like send me a DM if you're on vacation or anything, but I just want to know. So whenever the purge happens, and it happens sometimes, um, that they are yeah, safe, you know. But basically, in order to always be on top of the game and also have some sort of um yeah, how do I say, you want
Edge.
people to, yeah, always, yeah, you want the edge, you want people to be active, and you want to be um a server that always has the info, and therefore you sometimes need to make changes to keep everybody also with the drive to stay active, you know. So if I know I get invited to a server and I can just be a read-only guy, not provide any value, and basically, yeah, I mean, in this case, like if somebody's not active but just reads and apes the stuff that people send in, that's like harsh word, but it's like stealing, you know, and you can't just let that happen because
Yeah.
everybody grinds in there, and you have the server to have like many people who like many brains thinking together, you know,
Yeah.
and
Jones,
active.
I want to kind of walk it back. You had said you joined Left Curve off a quick click invite link that Sleuth sent out one day. You got in the chat. And since then, when you first joined, you were saying, you were following all these people. You maybe weren't a very refined trader. Then you joined Left Curve and things kind of started to move in the right direction. How important is it to be in a good chat and be surrounded by, the best of the best in class when it comes to traders?
Yeah, I mean, we learn every day. Everybody, each and every one of us learns every day. There's always something I don't know, and um, I mean, it, I mean, I have to get it straight. Like when I first joined in there, yeah. So I sometimes had some really stupid questions, no? And basically I mean, but it's now a whole different user base. We have still some OGs, but I started asking some, yeah, I mean, would say normie questions, and I kind of got some heat, like, why do you invite these people, you know? But I also realized there were so many people who were helpful and um, who are like looking to actually like be kind and um, help you refine your edge. And I mean, at the beginning, it starts with even like getting into the stuff, not doing stupid mistakes, and then at some point when you got some sort of edge, then it's refining this. But it's I think it's for me, it was also based like my success was also based on some individuals, like some sort of mentor um, that I found in Monster. He's also a really great trader, left curve
What,
OG.
where did you find him?
What did you say?
Wait, where did you find this person? Was it in Left Curve?
Yeah, he's an OG left curver still in there. And yeah, he's basically yeah, one of my best friends.
Nice.
And so like I think it's also really important to have somebody like this, like chatting like a lot, asking stuff, doing some sort of research together and everything. And honestly, if it wasn't for this guy, I wouldn't be where I am right now. But a really good server helps a lot.
How important is it? How important is it to just remain a student? And are there any patterns you see between like people in the server where it's like the people with a big ego don't want to ask questions, think they know it all, tend to underperform compared to the people maybe that have no ego and ask questions and remain a student all the time? Is that like a pattern you've seen pick up, or any examples you could give us without like name dropping, of course?
I think somebody with a big ego and like even like in combination maybe with not dropping a lot is not gonna survive for very long in the server. On the other hand, I think I'm totally fine. Or I think people who are always willing to learn, always looking to be active, be there when times are not good, even if it's just for an occasional chat or for outside crypto topics. Like these guys will survive, and they will actually be successful in future, I think. More so than people who think they know everything.
Yeah. Do you want to do we want to jump into some charts, man? See what you're looking at these days, what you're excited about. I saw you were posting about Avicii, man. Are you big into the whole the MetaDAO narrative?
I'm not actually sure if I ever posted about Avicii, to be honest.
No,
No,
I feel like I saw that on your Twitter.
no, actually, I think no. So I have a confession to make. So I was thinking about this the whole week, but I just thought like, okay, we're just gonna float here and see what happens. I mean, we can look at charts, but as you may have already also seen, I have not been too exposed to the market in the last 2 weeks, and I have also encouraged a lot of people in my surrounding to take a step back and refresh their minds, because yeah, I mean, we all know what happened on October 10th. Um, but I just think it's not the best time to be like very risk on, in my
Can
opinion.
we talk about that for a second? Because that's actually I was just about to jump in and talk about that, because I think that was one of the tweets I might have actually like quote tweeted or
Yeah,
retweeted
yeah.
that tweet. I was reading that and I thought that was just a really interesting position to have right now. And I'll share the tweet right here. Um, you basically said patience wins. This part of the market isn't about catching every move, and the
Chill.
part. Yeah.
1 second. Let me pull your screen up. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, oops, my bad. I didn't pull my screen up. Here we go. So here's the tweet. Patience wins. You said this part of the market isn't about catching every move. And the part that really stuck out to me, and that I'd like you to kind of expound on, is this part here. Whatever you miss, now being cautious, you'll make back easily when the market flips risk on. So kind of walk us through your thoughts, and like kind of what made you come to this conclusion, and kind of bridge that into how you're thinking about the markets right now.
Sure. To be honest, I was kind of hoping we talk about that because it's basically like the main thing that concerns me right now. Um, First of all, we know like the market right now is not really good. Obviously, if let's put it back to this specific day, October 10th. So if you were somebody who caught like in this very short time window, if you caught some of these dips, obviously you'd be up tremendously. Yeah. So that was a good dip buying opportunity. The next morning already, in my opinion, already is like not the best time to expose yourself so hard to the market. This has some like what happened has some really big implications in my opinion for crypto. Um, One thing is obviously the industry we all thought was like kind of grown into this institutional bit kind of industry, like grown up, you could say. Um, it was now happen like what happened. It's kind of we all thought now this wouldn't happen anymore. It was kind of crazy. So I think many people lost a lot of money. That's the first thing. I lost a lot of money, not too much, but like 20% ish of the port. And I know many other people have felt the same. So confidence in the market is at a low, and I think when confidence is at such a low and the market is basically not really trending, we have a situation where I think bids are happening, but a lot less volume. And also, what happens is people are trading with like a trading view on the next window, and they are watching the BTC 1 minute chart. Like, okay, so I bought this shitcoin, I'm up 10%. Now BTC dumps like 1K, like nothing, but it dumps 1K. Okay, let me sell this on all the other heads. This is something that's happening. And I think right now, these are not the opportunities that make me money. Like I can start bidding all the shit for like 10% and 20% moves, but it's not really making a real impact on my portfolio. There's the obviously the risk that I lose with all these trades too. It's also a lot of micro decisions I have to do all day, like do I have a good entry? Um, should I buy? Should I sell? Where do I TP? What if this happens? What if that happens? Like so many decisions. And basically I will not have like real impact on my port. So I think basically for this reason it's the best to just sit on your hands, refresh your mind. Um, let's assume I could have made like 3, 4, 5K, like any non-meaningful like amount of money in this time window, but I could have also bled myself to death. What happened many times before to not only me but to any like to a lot of other people too. So I'm just trying to avoid that and trade a trending market. So either we get really meaningful levels like let's say ETH fills the wick, so where we could assume we will see 2 or 3 weeks of a uptrending market, so on-chain will revive like a little bit again. So this is what I would then trade, but I would not like we all know that when you are in the zone, when you got a really good time window to trade, what I do, like what I make in this kind of market is like 50 to 100x better than what I can do in this kind of shit market when I trade.
So you're saying when the market's not trending, you're better off just sitting on your hands rather than getting chopped up and wrecked basically for the weeks or months the market's just not trending.
I think there's something else that's playing into this, and it's we are late in the cycle. I don't know what happens next. I mean, we all hope that the bull market will like go on, and I'm fairly confident it will, but I don't know. What if not? And
Can you get into your cycle theory or just like how you've thought about cycles in the past maybe and why you think this time may or may not be different?
to be honest, I don't. I'm all I know is that we are 4 years into the cycle. You know, we are basically this is what was happening in the past. So 4 years, and then we'd get a bear market. I don't know what will happen now, and I'm not like I think I don't really want to risk it. Like I'm just doing what I get. Like the cards I'm being dealt. I'm not saying like I will also trade in bear market. I will be active no matter what. But I don't know what happens next, and I think you shown here the tweet I posted, and I think you don't really have to be a chart guru to see that the weekly, like the 50 weekly EMAs, always held up in the uptrend. It's a level I'd watch definitely, and if we break it, I mean, it's a psychological factor that many others will consider too if it's gonna break. So then I'd start to be actually bearish. Yeah.
Nice. I actually have like a very similar take. We were actually just looking at that exact indicator just before you got on. So my question is though, so you're being patient now. You're recognizing, hey, look, post historical liquidation event, confidence is at its low. Even if you were to win, it might not even be a meaningful port W based on how choppy market conditions are. Maybe you get a good win, but then you get another loss, and it's just not meaningful, and it's net negative. So knowing how quickly on chain can move, like at what point do you get aggressive? At what point do you say, okay, now is the time to jump in? Like, what's your parameters? What's your setup look like that kind of allows you to change when the time's right?
Yeah, I think the first one I already kind of talked about. That would be when we get a really like meaningful pullback again, where I'm not looking like currently. I'm taking ETH for example. I mean we're like at 3.9 or so, 3.8. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it changed a bit.
4.
Oh, 4 already. Okay, so
Mhm.
we made some kind of move. Okay. But for this whole, I mean, since the liquidation event, I think the whole time we were like, if you didn't happen like to catch the bottom of the wick, I mean, 3.6 was kind of the lowest then. Um, that would that was actually kind of you could think about jumping in there, like buying some spot ETH, and looking for basically not more than a 10% move. Because like the 4.2 level on ETH is, I think, is pretty important to flip this. So if we flip this level, for example, I'd look for like also uh, some more exposure on chain, because then we would have an uptrending market again. So I mean, we flip that, then we are probably looking to target all-time highs again. And also, I think that's a big confidence level in the market if we got this. And we like currently there's the fear, okay, maybe like let's reject another time at 4.2. We'd be probably looking or considering like targets to the downside. And this, once again, would kind of be really bad move for confidence in the markets. So either we get like 3.3 or even like 2.8 ETH, like in a short time, not like chopping down. Then I think that's probably a good time to get some exposure, because we'd be probably having some sort of like trend up to some meaningful resistance levels again, but they're probably higher. Or flip 4.2 and the bull continues and we get some confidence back. But I want to just note one more thing. Currently, since I already said, like, I don't know what happens next, I don't care. Like, I care what happens next, but it doesn't really change what I'm about to do. Whenever we are in a market like this, I'm trying to get like gratitude over greed, you know. I've seen people saying like max long now, and I'm sure many of these people will be bleeding to death because they will act out of greed, you know, taking too much risk to make up for what they lost. I I think I can say that I did 200x in 1.5 years now. I was even a little bit
Wow.
higher. And now I'm trying to be really like, I feel gratitude that I made this, like that I took the step to go into crypto to get myself in the position I am now. And I, if the market was, if the cycle was over now, man, I'd be looking at a figure I didn't believe even half a year ago, and I'm totally happy with what I made. If we get other chances in the market later, I'm gonna take them for sure. But I'm just saying to everybody, like, don't risk too much right now. Even like you can punt some stuff. I did too. I got like 2, 3 positions running right now with lower kind of confidence because of the circumstance I said. But like the position size is like 1/3 or maybe one half or something like that. You know, like I think it's a mistake to be too risk on right now.
What about perps, dude? Are you trading any perps these days? Or you said you got 20% of your portfolio wiped out. By the way, sorry to hear that. Was that due to trading perps, or how did that look?
Okay, no, I don't trade perps. I think for me it's also some sort of like I I know that there's like beasts in the market, you know. There's people who will crush you, and I think I see so many people who, when no, they don't have a clue what they're doing, but they still do it. I don't want to be one of those people, you know. So I actually I'm kind of want to learn it. And whenever we got like a really like dry period in the market, I got some cool stuff where I can learn it. I have some material that's pretty good. But I think it takes just a lot of time to master the art of perps trading, and I'm not really willing to expose myself to that field. Um, I'm I may be doing it like with like, yeah, I would say like small amounts of money, like let's say like $50 or so. So something that wouldn't hurt to lose, just for the feel, but I'm not really interested right now into perps.
Okay. I want to kind of run back to something you mentioned earlier. You said people aren't grateful enough. There's not enough gratitude. I think one thing I see on Twitter also that's just, it's so peculiar to me is that people have lost touch of how much money is a significant amount. And of course, it changes based on where you live and your circumstances. But, we see this conversation going on right now about, oh, how is Kobe not a billionaire, right? Kobe just sold an NFT for 25 million. And it's like, some people just don't get how much money that is.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an issue right now with Twitter just kind of making it seem like everyone should be making so much money, but in reality, it's just such a small fraction of those people who are actually doing it at a high level?
Well, I think it's kind of an issue. I'm pretty sure a lot of it is shit talking too. But yeah, I mean, we are so delusional. Like the
Okay.
industry is so delusional. In a sense, like I tell myself, in a sense, as a trader, it's good to kind of lose the perception of money a little bit, you know. Um, just to make an example, if I do a trade and I lose 10K, you know, or I risk 10K, or let's even say 1K, okay? So, okay, I'm aping something for 10K, I'm like 2K down. Um, if I really see that money as what it's worth in buying power, then I will just constantly be watching the 1 minute chart. And, I mean, it's kind of important to lose a little bit of the perception of the money in this case, in this sense, you know. But
When you say in terms of buying power, do you mean like, oh, I could have bought this watch, I could have bought this car, I could have bought this, so on and so forth?
yeah, I mean, the amount of, like, for example, when Sol shitcoin season was hot, yeah. I mean, I do like spend free Sol, like, or let's say $600 in a coin where I'm willingly let this go to zero if it happens, you know. And $600
Yeah.
is like, what the fuck? Like, I could actually buy some stuff for that. But in our terms, it's just okay. It's just free Sol. Fuck it.
It's funny. I had this conversation with Chill the other day too, and that's kind of what I said. Like, I'll have my size in these positions, and then I'll have these small positions that's up, And again, this is going to change based on like your circumstances, but I'll have these small positions up $1,000, couple $1,000, couple $100, and I'm just like, even though it's at a good level to take profit or maybe start scaling out, I'm like, well, the dollar value's lower than I would like. So I'm just not going to. And I think you have a good point. I think it goes both ways. Just being able to detach from the big dollar amount swings, and the low dollar amount swings is important, and just trade on a strict regimen no matter what. And I find myself still having that issue too, where it's like if it's not big enough, I just won't touch it, won't take profit, won't really look at it. And like you said, when you put that in perspective, it's like, whoa, well, $1,000, I could buy a new couch, right? Or maybe not a new couch, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's why sizing is so important, man.
true.
Sometimes you buy something, you put in like, okay, let's say you put in a small amount, yeah. You do 5x, yeah. You can't be happy about it. It's
Yeah.
just, so it's really important to size well. Obviously not in shitcoins, like in gamble shitcoins, pump fun that you get sent in the group chat and you ape for fun. But yeah, if it's like when we're talking about um, actually like investments, it's really important to size. Yeah.
What's your rule of thumb? What's your rule of thumb there when it comes to sizing?
So the question is not really too easy because I think like 10% for like some conviction back is something I'd go for. But at the same time, when in this short amount of time your portfolio like swings so high to the upside, um, these values change so fast. So I mean, I started with low for fix, you know. Um, when you do that, um, like in your first months, you know, and then we're talking about a few hundred or maybe $1,000, yeah. And like soonish it was like 10K and then 20K and so on, you know. And it's I think whenever it changes so fast, you should not apply this rule of thumb because it kinda you have to get used to the portfolio size first before you actually go back to this 10%, for example. So I think whenever you have like a big win that meaningfully changes your portfolio, sometimes, I mean, let's say you aped 10%, a 10% back of something, it did 5x. I mean, that you made 50% on the port. So whenever something like this happens, I did the mistake before. I was also sizing this up because now you got money now, and you think, okay, now I'm gonna play with the big boys.
Look confidence.
Yeah, confidence, overconfidence. I actually made a
Mm.
really a post on that too that some people really liked, where I was sharing some of my mistakes from overconfidence after big wins. It just
Mm.
happens, yeah. And I think that now my learning is start a little bit slow, keep around the same position size, but actually, I have to admit one thing: it's a lot of balls tingling. Like I don't have set position size, you know. Um, I mean, it's always the question like, is whatever info you buy something on, is that a known info? Are you maybe the first to really see that? Are you the first who's talking about it? What is actually like happening after? Is it a good narrative and all these things? So if a lot of boxes check, man, blasted, and then yeah, it's a lot of balls tingling.
So, do you do any journaling? And I do want to ask you just a little bit about, like, what parts of the market you're interested in, and kind of get your ideas there. But before we even go there, I wanted to ask you: do you journal? Do you record your trades? Do you go back and kind of see where you messed up or where you could improve? What's your approach there?
Yeah, so I I think journaling is a really good thing. I'm sort of inconsistent doing it. I actually set up a journal with ChatGPT in the project section, which is pretty cool because it does like all the work for you, and you just type whatever you feel, and it can really do some cool stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of inconsistent sometimes in doing it. So I'd say I'm not the greatest journal guy, but what I do and what helps me actually most is expressing my thoughts on Twitter. It's like a journal for me too. I mean, I'm obviously not talking about like specific sizes or trade, like when I entered TP levels and all the stuff. Obviously, I don't do that, but for me, like what helps me most in journaling is actually like the psychological part, and the part when it's about emotions. So
Got
yeah.
it. Yeah, me and Dom had this conversation around journaling the other day, and I recently picked it up, and it definitely helps from the psychological side of things, and just kind of helps you keep track of things. But I'm also finding that I might not be the most consistent daily journaler, but I as well use Twitter as a bit of an outlet to kind of express my feelings and
Chill, can I ask, like, if you're about to write something on a piece of paper, like, what do you
yeah.
write? Are you writing like, oh, I placed this trade at this price, this was the outcome?
So
Do you
like
write it when the trade is open, or do you write it when the trade is closed? Like, what does it actually look like?
beforehand. So like I have a typically, I'm sure Jones, maybe you do something similar. If I have trades that I want to take, or a thesis on the market, oh, like now the thesis is ICM, we're early. I'd write down, okay, look, these are the tickers I'm interested in, and then I'll just check the charts regularly. And you guys know the red boxes. When it hits a red box, bang, entry. So I try to plan it out and then act versus, and on chain is so it's an arena that's constantly changing. So sometimes you have to make those decisions. And like Jones mentioned earlier, sometimes you're just tingling and everything just checks the boxes. So there's definitely times such as those. But yeah, Jones, I mean, what parts of the market right now would you say you're most interested in? Or when things do kind of flip for you and you flip bullish, what are you going after first, or how are you looking at that side of things?
So I think first first of all, I have to say currently, like, I actually did what I said. Like, I even pulled myself a little bit out of the market and didn't check stuff like too eagerly for some days. So I'm not like up to date with everything, but I can even tell you for the current market, even when things don't check out like as I wish they were yet. But I think I want to have a look at all the stuff that either is a hot narrative or has a catalyst up front. I mean, these are the trades where you can't do a lot wrong. So I don't have a lot of positions open right now. What I do have open right now, some is in the prediction markets matter, because obviously this is a huge narrative right now with Kalshi and Polymarket kind of raising big right now, having an IPO somewhere in the next 1 to 2 years. I mean, it's it's kind of far away probably, but it's something that people just like to talk about. And obviously, prediction markets is also something interesting in terms of will we have a bull, or like a further bull or bear, because I think prediction markets is something that many might actually transfer over to when the on-chain markets are dry, because there's always something to bet on. Like, this doesn't have anything to do with like charts going up or down. I mean, it's just basically it's a yes or no question. So I think that's something that is really worth having an eye on. So I'm just gonna share my only like, okay, got two, but one is a shitcoin. The only position I have right now actually in this meta is pretty, because we got limitless TGE upfront. Not this one. The one on base.
What's the
The
ticker?
one on base, PREDI.
Oh, pretty, yeah.
Yeah, pretty. So first of all, obviously chart when I bought was clearly bottoms. I mean, it can always go more down, but I think this one just checked out for me as something I'd be willing to put some money in, because we got as I said, limitless TGE base related coin. So it it just simply made sense to ape a prediction market coin on base. Actually, also one that like the numbers are increasing. It's not like huge, but people are actually using it. Grok is also using it. So I think there's also has some good people who are aligned with the coin. So there was some.
What do you mean when you say Grok is using it?
There was actually somebody posted it. It Grok made a prediction market with it.
What? That's
Well,
pretty
that's
crazy.
actually kind of crazy. Yeah.
Wait, I show you. Wait. Wait.
I mean, now we have AI.
Do you think prediction markets?
Go ahead, Dom.
Say again, Joe.
No, I was just crazy that we have AI making prediction markets now. I mean, if that's not an indicator, I don't know what is.
Yeah, right. Though, at what point do we get to prediction markets where it's just AI creating it and AI betting the arbitrage and just taking edges ever so slightly all the time? Like, there at some point, I feel like for prediction markets, there may be no human edge. That's probably really forward looking, but yeah.
I think it could just be an eventuality, Um, just like Jones was just saying, prediction markets, there's always something to bet on. There's always something to put money towards. And at the end of the day, humans can't stay online 24/7, right? Humans can't stay online 24/7. So at the end of the day, maybe we do have, AI kind of, being heavily influencing these markets at some point.
Here's the bet Jones Ryder was talking about.
Let's see.
Uh, Grok says prediction markets are crowdsourcing effectively. XA values making blah blah. Hey Grok, teaming up sounds like a match. Okay, that was from prediction markets. Sounds like a winning bet. Bitcoin's at around 68K now. Hitting 150K by December 31st would be a wild ride. Let's build that market on base with PrettyBot. First event, Bitcoin to 150K. Odds starting at 20%. Yes. What's your prediction?
Okay, I mean, I will just talk about it. The elephant in the room, Bitcoin was not at 68K.
Dude, oh, wait a minute. This is October 19th. What?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know what Grok did there.
All right, Grok.
Hallucinating, bro. AI hallucination.
This might be they do train sometimes on old data, so this might be something like that, but I don't know. I feel like Grok should know.
That's come on, yeah.
Yeah, it should definitely know. But I think it's not even the first time I've seen it using it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's this whole conversation kind of led it into kind of also placing that bet. But however, we all know that the whole crypto game is some sort of attention game, and this kind of gets attention. And yeah, I mean, I aped it because of mentioned catalyst, and obviously the entry was kind of fine. And yeah, I'm thinking this could be a good short-term trade.
So prediction markets are your top narrative right now. Is there anything else that you really like? AI is, I think, like an easy one to say. ICM might be another one. What comes to top of mind other than prediction markets?
I have to get more into ICM when I see you guys, man. You're kind of making me bullish. I have to say, like all the stuff surrounding belief and what happened, it kind of put me off a little bit in the past. I think the greatest day or one of the greatest days in crypto was this one morning when ICM kicked off. I don't know, like that was such a nice day. Everybody made money apparently.
Euphoric.
Yeah, that was sick. I mean, okay, so yeah, AI is always an interesting narrative. Um, Obviously, I'm not like I have to say I'm not the guy that is constantly like just looking at a few narratives. It's more like what floats. Like I'm trying to be with the market, and I think other than probably a lot of other people, um, I think it's important to know your edge, and my edge is not like holding a coin for several months. Just not good at it. I do it sometimes, but apparently on all the ones I do, I seem to be losing money. So I'm trying to get a little bit away from that. I'm more interested like in seeing what happens, always being floating with the market and looking at like trades with a time frame of maybe 2 weeks. Like currently also more focused on new launches, like stuff where you actually don't have back holders, stuff that's like you wait for the launch ship and you recognize, okay, this is a good one. Stuff like, for example, Avantis, Hydrex was a good one. Like stuff like this, that's fresh, that's interesting, and ride it for the first attention wave. That's more like the stuff I'm looking at right now.
So I
And
guess
I'm yeah,
keep going.
I just wanted to say, and I'm not really focused on one narrative there. Obviously, some stuff is interesting for sure. But yeah, just gonna leave it with that.
I guess one question that I had was just in addition to what you just said, I've like coming into crypto, I've always heard, just hold your bags, we'll have an alt season, everything will go up. And obviously that hasn't been the case so far. In fact, you dare say that anyone who's held a bag for anything more than 6 months, or sometimes even like within the 3 to 6 month window, they've oftentimes been hurt. Like we've seen the Murad's portfolio swings, up and down. We've seen, some of the meme coins go to billions and then, drop to basically zero. We've even seen a lot of the utility um underperform as well. So is it that like is it the market? Does the market kind of weigh into your hold times, or is it just the fact that it's just not something that you do?
Obviously, it's the market that makes me adjust my strategy about like on this. Like I think it. I mean, it's just naturally like you got like a few years ago, you got like so many launches in a year, and now you got like the same amount of launches in a day or maybe even in an hour. So attention fragmentalization is extremely real, and I think either you go with the market or you go like
Do you
completely.
ever think do you ever think we go back to a world where I don't know, where we do have like sustainable price action and like like projects that like sustain a certain level for extended periods of time? Or
Everything going
yeah,
up.
I wouldn't even say everything going up. I would say, is it possible, let's say from now to let's say 6 months in the future, to hold something today and still outperform the general market, or even outperform Bitcoin by holding like an altcoin, or are those days over, and is it just a trader's market?
I mean, there will always be examples for where this completely applies. I'm just gonna say hype. Hype. Whoever held that, who like, congratulations if you still hold your airdrop. You're a giga millionaire now.
Sure.
Like it's like you will always have these. But the problem is simply this, and I'm just a participant in the market. I try to get the biggest edge I can get with my network, with the people around. around me. Like we trying together to be on top of the market. But it's simple. It's just normal, that it's impossible to like almost impossible to really find the place and have the conviction in these that are actually the outliers. And we are not even talking about 99.9% outliers. We're talking about 99.99999% outliers. Um,
Yeah.
so therefore, I think, why should I try to risk my back that may at some point be up like a really good amount, um, to like round trip this when I don't know if this is the coin that does it, So I think, there's no coin I could have held from when I started until now, and I would have as much as I have now. Like, it's unrealistic that I will pick this one coin. Surely there will always be coins where sellers are punished, obviously, but I think it will probably stay a trader's market. And it will obviously, like, the intensity to like the extent in which like how much it is a traders or holders market will kind of shift based on how strong the market in general is. So obviously we know you can hold longer when the market is good, and you probably can sell earlier or should sell earlier when the market is bad, because it's like mass psychology. But yeah, it's a difficult one. But I'd go with the strategy that I know works for me. And I think everybody should derive a strategy that works for them. I mean, you guys are probably to a good extent like holders in your favorite ICM coins, but you're also like, and I admire that, but you're also like probably as close to the source as it gets, like you are on top of your game, and therefore it works for you, and therefore I should probably talk a little bit more to you to ape into these coins early.
Here you are.
You got our number, bro. Anytime.
Sorry if I missed it, but does Left Curve have an ICM like track or little mini community?
We got two of the
Jones,
mostly.
would I be allowed to share like a screen share of the server just to show like what it looks like, or no?
We can do a left curve tweet.
Sorry, what? What do you mean?
Would it be if I screen share the server just to show what it looks like? Is that okay or no?
Sure, can do it.
Sure. Okay. Let's see. Share this tab. You want to walk us through it, Jones?
Wait. Yeah, I mean, we got some, like, we're kind of organized. Some people who come from straight up like TGs, they sometimes have problems with all the chats in there, but yeah, we got one main channel. These are some automated stuff we have, that we get pulled in here. Some guys share daily analytics stuff, all the most important stuff from all on these sources like CoinSense and DEX flows and you name it. Smart money buying. We got some automated summary, what happened during the day.
I rarely go through this part. I got to go through this more often. This is
we
sick.
got some really good astrology in there, and it works. But,
Yes.
but can't share too much here. It's really alpha, and my friend Bitter No Coiner, he will also have a website on this too. Yeah, obviously here we got some
Exploits.
exploits. Yeah, everybody should look at roles, infos. We got a call channel, but it's not used too much, to be honest.
And are people calling like microcaps, or are they calling perp setups? Like
Nah,
what do you call in there?
the call channel is more or less for, I would say,
Conviction.
yeah, it's like when you really are able to put a thesis behind it. Like you research something,
Right. You have
that's
thesis.
worth like tagging people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people have their chart setups there. We have a
Looking at
shitcoin.
pump. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's some. We got a shitcoin channel. Like obviously everything that you can really put meaningful money in. Some DeFi channel, some research channel.
No ICM though. I don't see any
No,
ICM
we
on the
don't
side.
have but that's
It kind of fits in
we,
general.
I have to say though, I mean we are just distinguishing between like coins that are like high lick and we between like shit coins.
Yeah.
We don't make like we don't have an AI channel or stuff like that. So
Are you familiar with ICM run by chance?
a little bit maybe, but
What
not.
Mercy's doing there?
What did you say?
I said what Mercy from ICM run.
Um, I'm actually
Not familiar.
not
No, not
really
familiar.
like
Yeah.
not too
Okay.
much. No.
I think that's kind of like if I were to I know maybe you want to learn more about ICM. Obviously, you're on the channel, which is great. But ICM run, I feel like is a good kind of starting point to like see kind of what's going on. But yeah, it's a DAO, just incubator on all these projects, and it's gained some interesting contributors. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I've
Lupin
seen.
Nets is a contributor on there. You got Soju as a contributor on there from Meteora. You got Stig from Believe, right? I mean, there's just a whole bunch of really great guys.
Yeah, I know you guys have been doing some sort of launch party or stuff. I remember,
Oh yeah.
you guys like having a lot of fun in the chat back then. I think I will have to take a look at it, definitely. I read some stuff about Elon being some sort of uh,
he's on the mentor list. He's on the
He's on the
mentor
mentor
list.
list, so
affiliated.
he could be
Okay,
joining the team.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Unannounced.
so are they not like affiliated with Belief then?
No, so that's the thing that makes ICM kind of nice is they're launchpad agnostic, right? One thing we've been seeing a lot on this channel, and we interview basically all the launch pads, is there's a ton of competition right now coming out to build these launch pads that are just better, right? So like launch pads that are tied to equity, right? So if you buy a token, it's actually tied to equity in a startup or a private company. There are launch pads that are building ownership coin systems. So it's like, hey, if you have a project, the tokens, just like governance, the token holders kind of get to pick what to do with it, but at a much deeper level to where um, all revenue, everything from a project kind of flows back into a treasury that's owned by just like a DAO owned by the token holders. And so like nothing can be done without it being passed. And that's like been a super interesting, obviously MET DAO's heading that up. And so ICM is an incubator and it's working with all these launch pads. It's agnostic. It'll launch wherever. And they're incubating just some of the top projects. So that's the differentiating factor there. It's not just Believe specific, despite Believe right now being really the dominant and the only ICM launchpad that's like doing well right now, or that's popular right now.
What do you guys see this going to? Like
Jones,
also with the
honestly,
stuff.
we're gonna sound crazy if we say this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Mercy's got so much going for him. He could legitimately send this well past 100 mil. And if we get a proper ICM season, Yeah, higher, much higher than that too. So
Se- se-
again, you just look at the list.
Seems
What's
like
up?
your holder's gonna outperform the trader then.
Pretty
Well,
in this one,
hopefully
I
in this
would
case,
say so. In this one, I would say so.
you gotta also remember, dude, the supply control for a token like this is pretty crazy. Like there are 10,000 holders, yes, but remember, there's only 100 or so people that got the private sale of this, and the people that are in the private sale are like very good friends with Mercy. They're like the Meteora team. It's like Believe team, like whoever it is, they're just diamond handing.
So
So it's
Jones, do you want me to walk you through the full thesis real quick, or because we're kind of like spitballing like little stuff? I don't know if it's all coming together for you.
I mean, if you don't have any other questions, we can do.
What you got anything, Dom?
no, I think we saw the left curved outs. Obviously, a great channel. No, I think we walked through most of it, Jones. I appreciate you spitballing with us and throwing out some alpha.
Okay, cool. Then let's get in.
All righty. Well, I'll just share this. I'll just share this tweet. Let me just share my thread real quick. Um, I think this is just what's been sticking. But I basically called it the AI 16Z of ICM, and that's pretty much an accurate description. So just as we were saying, like there's all these different players and that are coming to the space, and all these launch pads are bringing Web2 entrepreneurs and helping them to tokenize their startups. Now, the thing is with ICM.run, what they are is a DAO, and they basically provide all these projects, resources, exposure, and information that helps them to be successful. So the founder right now, like Mercy, he's like ex Animoca Brands, right? Like he has like a very deep institutional crypto background. But then also you have like Luca Nets from Pudgy Penguin. You have people from DAO Maker, AVAX, Believe, Meteora that are involved in providing all these projects with resources. Um, and then the kind of tokenomics part, basically, and this may change based on votes from the DAO, but the tokens and an NFT collection is tied to the treasury. So basically, they collect 1 to 5% of each of the projects that they incubate. And then what we're also seeing now, which wasn't happening when this thread was released, was that a lot of ICM projects are partnering with the DAO. That basically they airdrop tokens to the DAO treasury. And so the treasury went from, I think it was like 50,000. I think it all-time high so far is about 200K. And they haven't launched a single project yet. They haven't incubated a single project. They have, hundreds of applications from founders, and basically the full mentor list. The mentors will decide on who they'd want to incubate, basically. Um, and yeah, I mean that's really the crux of it. So as all these players like come, all these launch pads, they all come and they want to launch ICM projects. The best way for them to be successful is to leverage the resources that ICM.run has, because they basically they're connected to anybody that is a major player in ICM. They have connections with. And so, because of the way the treasury accumulates tokens and accrues value, token holders get exposure to that. And I'm pretty sure they're working on more value
And,
accrual.
and if I may, real quick, Chill, I think I'll also add that like the Meteora crew, a part of this, are like super super involved in terms of their white gloving really high potential projects that are using Meteora's tech. And so there's this kind of like interesting alignment, where we saw like Pump Fund, for instance, they highlighted certain meme coins like Troll and USDUC, et cetera, in their ecosystem. And those coins actually did really well because people kind of just the value flowed into those like market leaders. This is a kind of a similar scenario. So yeah, I think there's just the people involved, and like Mercy's the kind of guy, he's like, I'm basically like saying no to family stuff for like the next 6 months, and I'm just like working on this, like going ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. They're launching their first project. They're incubating, I should say, their first project, which is OG Protocol. Basically the founder of Zynga, who created like Words with Friends and Farmville. They're coming out with like a GameFi infrastructure, if you will. And so like $1 billion. I think Zynga's worth like 12 bill now.
It got
So
bought out private at 12.
yeah. So that's really the crux of it, Jones. I don't want to talk your ear off here. But just giving you like a quick rundown so it can save you a ton of time in your research.
Yeah, thank you. I think I might have one thing to add and one question. So first of all, you asked me what I'm bullish about, and in general, I'm bullish everything that's like, or not everything, but um, stuff that is like legit, like good founders, good backgrounds, building really like useful products, like at best case, revenue generating products that people will use, like not like those anon devs launching five shitcoins on ETH that we all know like nobody uses that tech if it even exists, you know. Like this is kind of stuff that I'm gonna be bullish about in the future too. So this kind of angle is something I like. As you said, they are really like targeting to incubate projects that are really like offering something interesting, like only the best products. So I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that. Um, Another thing I wanted to ask is um, like you are obviously through like the whole ICM stuff, you are really bullish on or have been bullish on Belief. I'm not sure. I think you still are bullish on Belief. Um, but we also know that at least from what they like express to the outside, they're fucked up some sort. Like even if it's genuine interest, like they made some really strange comments that fucked up holders. Like also the stuff with the migration where they increase supply and stuff. So my question is, are you like, is this a contender? Like, is this a competition to Belief and its eco, and how like does it change on what you are bullish about?
I'll actually take this one because I wrote a tweet the other day, and I'll share this out. I'll share this as well. It basically like addresses your question head on. So we know that there are like different players in the ICM space, and Believe is one of them. Believe has like a lot more competition now than when it first started. So you have people like Street, Launch on Soar, MetaDAO, and they have their own, mechanics that is a little bit different than Believe. You have Heaven Decks, Bonk, Stardot Fun. They're also working on that stuff, but it doesn't really matter where you launch because the ICM.run is launchpad agnostic. They're not supporting one launchpad over another. It's simply where is the best place to launch for that particular founder and what they need. And so the fact that ICM.run is kind of it's basically the best place to incubate your ICM project. If you are a founder and you want to be successful, the best place to give you the best chance would be ICM.run. And so the fact that they can launch on any launch pad kind of makes them more stackable. And so there's more synergy between all of the launch pads versus competition between them. So ICM.run is kind of just sits in the middle of all these launch pads and doesn't necessarily try to like eat anybody's lunch or anything like that, but really just pushes any ICM project forward.
Okay, so then we probably have to compare it also valuation wise with the other competitors, like especially with Believe as the
Mhm.
like the first mover, which already like reached like 250 mil or something. So that should be probably some sort of short to midterm target, I think.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Dom was mentioning. That's why I quote tweeted Dom's tweet. He put it really the best, and shout out him. Everybody should go follow Dom if you aren't already doing so. But he basically was saying like, hey, these ICM focused launch pads are trading above 100 mil, while ICM is still sits below 20 mil, right? And that's what he was kind of making the comparison. It's like there's a lot of synergy and there's a lot of players, and ICM.run is able to accrue value from all of these launch pads versus competing against them. So yeah, we definitely agree. It's definitely underpriced in terms of like valuation when compared to these other launch pads, which it should be priced at.
Interesting,
Look, MetaDAO's at
interesting.
230 mil right now, right? Simply put, MetaDAO's at 230 mil, Believe's at 100 mil. All these other top Street Foundation has people bidding collect just to get a piece of it. It's like ultimately what's going to happen is ICM.run is going to have the top picks from all these launch pads. And so like you should probably be trading ICM.run as like a beta to firstly ICM in general, but just like a beta as a launch pad as well. So it's a pretty easy like proxy bet on the entire meta.
What came out of it already?
So they've
There,
they only have one incubation so far, which is OG Protocol, and that's from the Zynga founder. And Zynga's worth 12 billion, but they like a lot of people are saying no, well, number one, they've had like hundreds of applications. Number two, they said that they also have, some of these projects, some are already creating revenue, others are pre-revenue. But if the first project and the caliber of project that it is and the caliber of founder that they've attracted is any indication, the other project should be, pretty great as well. So from a fundamental standpoint.
Yeah, now I'll wrap on this thought here is if we look at what Believe gained traction and how the ICM narrative really kind of took hold, is there was a launch with a project called Dupe by a guy named Bobby Goschel, and this Dupe is kind of like an Amazon competitor. They do $100 million in GMV through their platform, so they're like a real company, a real e-commerce competitor, kind of like how Shopify is a very large e-commerce company. And he accidentally launched a token on Believe. And it took him a couple weeks kind of figure out what had happened. It was kind of like, oh shit, like I tweeted at the Believe count. Now all of a sudden I have these liquidity pools, Meteor, and a token set up. From that moment, people saw, wow, this is a huge company. This is ICM. That this is here. This idea has come. And so now Bobby has got this huge treasury of not only his own token, he owns 25% of it, all of which he has bought from revenues from his actual company. He's also acquired Launchcoin and companies within the ICM ecosystem that are performing really well. And so I think when I look at ICM, it's like there's a lot of forced narratives out there, but this is not one of them. This is actually an organic narrative that launched kind of accidentally, and Believe honestly was a bit of an accident if you go back and listen to Ben's podcast. Uh, but it is stuck and it has grown. The narrative continues to grow. And I think, look, I've been in crypto for 10 years. I was there in Ethereum was $9 in 2016 or 2015. I've been there through CryptoPunks in 2017. I've been there through DeFi in 2020, 2021. And anything that's ever grown in crypto has been narratives that are organic and that just kind of were accidental. So that's why I think ICM will be here for the long haul.
Well, if you like think about it, it's basically just some sort of the next step, you know. Like, I mean, we've been trading stuff that kind of um, just has a value inside crypto, like because people believe in backs go higher, but whenever stuff like revenue like comes to comes to the equation, then this kind of changes everything, you know. So I think just from um ecosystem and like crypto kind of standpoint, I gotta vouch for ICM to run, you know. So ICM dot run, I guess.
Yeah, we love it. And people want like a PVE coin. They want to play a meme coin that's hit escape velocity, and they're like playing against really diversified liquidity. I like these because it's kind of like PVR or player versus revenue. It's still being tested and thought out, but again, it's like with a token like Dupe, you're trading against a company that's buying their own token and holding a bunch of it. And like, I don't know, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably made me want to research some of this stuff a little bit more. Um, so
Well,
I'm
there you
Let's
go.
go
definitely.
one person at a time.
So I mean, since Chill and
Jones, thanks for
Dom
coming
make
on
it
today.
there, since you guys are making left curve your main server, or it is already, we're gonna have plenty of time discussing all of these.
Can I join Left Curve? Is that cool or
Yeah, we can talk about it.
cool?
Sure.
Well, Jones, look, man, it's been really nice talking to you. I think we probably been yapping for about an hour now, and we went through a ton of things like your trading system, your views on the market, and it's just been a pleasure to actually sit down and just chat with you, man. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this more often. So if you want to ever come back and be on the show, definitely would love to have you, bro. But appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, thank you for the
Much love,
invitation,
Jones.
and I'm definitely open for coming back. Sure.
Sweet,
All
dude.
right.
We
Awesome,
appreciate you. Take it
awesome.
easy, brother.
Well, appreciate your time. We'll talk.
Appreciate you. Ciao, ciao.
That guy's awesome.
Man,
Dude,
I'm kind of
goaded
lagging right
combo.
now. Is it?
Yeah,
Jones
you
rocks.
are.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
Jones rocks.
but it's all good.
I'm lagging. I might dip
A
and
little
join
bit,
back
a
real
little
quick.
bit.
Yeah, no rush. Yeah.
Yeah, but that
Just
was a really nice conversation, man. Really nice conversation. Jones is dude's just a chat. He's been cool ever since I met him. Honestly, we followed each other for a little while, and I've always followed his content on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I've never gotten a chance to just like speak to him one on one. And like, wow, like he kind of like blew my mind a little bit on
Yeah.
some of the things that he was saying.
And
So,
guys, in the replies, I wrote some notes there, like kind of a couple huge takeaways. Number one is that don't follow large accounts. They often don't have alpha. That's just a rule he learned. And number two, was right now he's very risk off. And I don't know if, like, yeah, very risk off. And he had two scenarios. He's looking for ETH to either reclaim 4,200 and continue to see a trending market. If not, he thinks that 3K or 2,800 ETH is kind of in the cards. So right now, if he is taking trades, he's 1/3 or 1/2 positioning.
So can I actually just jump to something real quick too?
Yes,
Because
go.
yes, please,
we
please.
saw Ave was in the chat talking about gold was melting, and I did realize that. It's interesting. Gold is melting right now. It's
Oh my
down
God, 6%.
6%, which is nuts for the, an asset of this size.
Yo,
I will
did
share
we
it.
see a rumor that they were gonna like smash gold and flip it to Bitcoin? I saw that on the timeline. I don't know how valid that is.
So it's kind
Um,
of interesting because we are seeing a little bit of a trickle down effect. Gold's nuking, silver's nuking, but Bitcoin's up 3% and it just flipped on a dime here, right? Kind of interesting. We might be seeing that trickle effect, and it's just something to take note of. What's up, Chill?
I mean, we talked about this last week. We noticed that when gold was consolidating earlier this year, Bitcoin, that was when Bitcoin was going up. So if you go to like, I believe it was April, May, gold was consolidating during that time. And if you look at Bitcoin during April and May, it was actually trending higher. I think, this is no coincidence that, on the day that that gold is showing some is pulling back, then Bitcoin's actually gaining some strength. So I can only imagine this just went from 4,300 to 41. So I can only imagine when this actually really pulls back. I mean, if you guys think about it and you think about how parabolas work, if this was a blow off top type of situation, gold is heading a lot. Gold is heading a lot lower than it is now. A lot, definitely below. Definitely below 4,100. And we talked about this. You had people coming out, you had people coming out lining up at stores to buy gold. I just spoke to a homie the other day. He has 46 Bitcoin, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I just bought some gold." I'm like, "Dude, are you serious? Like,
The
what do
exit
you like?"
liquidity, dude.
Yeah. So it's like the top signs are there for gold. The bottom signs were there for Bitcoin. So,
Also, shout
just
out to your
something.
homie with almost 50 BTC.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
right.
He sold some for because he's like been in crypto for like since like 2016 or something.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like you, Josh.
yeah, no comment, but yeah, I do know. Can you pull this latest tweet up from Bitwise in the chat there, Don? Private.
Yes, I can. Let's see.
Gold's largest single day drop since April of 20 was at
Crazy.
13. Just saying.
No, guys, 5% in a day for a multi-trillion-dollar asset is like nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
I find this really interesting. Again, this is if 5% capital rotated from gold to Bitcoin, it could send BTC to a 250,000. Don't take these numbers as like a grain of salt, but I think we always talk about if Bitcoin could theoretically be the digital version of gold and then grow into that market price. So it just, this is interesting to know which one is the behemoth and which one might have more upside relative to the other.
The other thing is too,
Yeah.
gold has been putting, Bitcoin's market cap has been adding Bitcoin's market cap like on a daily / weekly basis, from what I understand. Like, uh, you know, gold is going up and up and up, and and it's literally adding Bitcoin's market cap to its as far as value is concerned. So again, when this starts to correct, this starts to break down a bit, the rotation is not going to take a lot to lift Bitcoin. And then that's not even adding on the retail euphoria. That's not adding on the euphoria, of the rest of the industry, all that good stuff. So yeah, say all of that to say, job's not done.
Can I take a quick couple minutes here just to show MetaDAO and Avicii because these charts are going great, and then
Go for it.
Starseed coming up here, guys. And again, this is an awesome stream because it's we're a day or 2 days away, depending on where you live, from MET TGE, right? And Starseed obviously has been a huge benefactor and prominent player when it comes to DLLMing, and we get to learn a ton today. No better day to do it, so I'm excited for that. But real quick, guys, let's run through Meta. Obviously, the other day, Meta's at 235 million right now, looking really good. Just beautiful price action and continue to climb up as people latch on to this Futarchy, better known as ownership coins Meta, that's picking up. And like again, it's a great progression from what we've seen. Avicii obviously being their recent raise, just charts looking great. One of the best recovery the day, I would say. So that part again, 8.5 million. I was really impressed by our conversation with them the other day. I think they got a ton of potential. They already have revenue. They have a good retention. They're a sticky product, and I don't know. Ram seems like a sharp guy. So Avicii was a really interesting conversation. Depending on where you get an entry, consider looking there. Umbra's up 31% on the day. It's down though significantly from
Bottom.
not from IO, but yeah, from the pump it was on. So watch Umbra at 8.9 mil. I don't know. Do I like Umbra at 8.9 mil or Avicii at 8.5 with a 11 mil FDV versus a 26 mil FDV? I don't know. But
I gotta
both are
give
cool nonetheless.
I gotta pull up some MCG receipts real quick. So October 10th is when we actually cover MetaDAO earlier than October 10th, but on October 10th the clip came out. MetaDAO was trading just under 100 mil, it looks like, somewhere around October 10th. So if you were following MCG, this would have gotten on a watch list. You should be putting it on a watch list. Anything we cover on MCG should be on watch list. But yeah, you're up 100%, more than 100% if you had that on a watch list. So another common MCGW and receipt.
Cool. Well, let's kick it over to the Starseed guys. You know, for us, I think we're going to be a little hands off and just let them kind of take over, show us the product, show us the platform, teach us how to DLLM and how that works. Because we're noobs in that front. So this is exciting. Let's pull these guys there. Badman, Razor, what's going on? You with us?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
We sure can. Razor,
All right, awesome.
Razor, you with us?
Yes, sir. Hope you're having a good day. The stream's been fire.
Sweet. Really, you've been chugging along here for the last hour and 45 then, huh?
Oh yeah, no, we have been. I love to talk about gold. Interesting stuff.
You got any thoughts there? What do you think with gold from here?
It's hard to say. It's quite a decent retracement, but I feel like people still see value with this drop and probably try and jump in, especially after that epic run. I feel like that always happens after an epic run, right? You have any kind of retracement, people are like, oh, you know what? Maybe I need to buy this to try and get on the hype train. And I feel like a retracement like this could be an opportunity for that. I myself bought a decent amount of silver earlier this year, so I'm happy with the gains.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it's physical silver, so it's hard to offload compared to something like a gold stock or ETF. But
that's what you got to do, right?
I'm
If you're
still
gonna
hopeful.
buy it,
Yeah.
you might as well get the physical stuff.
Yeah, I do love the physical stuff a lot more. So I'm just gonna hold on to it myself. I feel like there's a lot more room for upwards growth there. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I like seeing the price of all these precious metals go up. Have you guys played any of them?
I've had silver. So I bought silver too rather than gold. And I went through the whole process of, well, silver's more practical, right? It's in phones, it's in cars, so I'm like, let me buy some silver. So I've had silver for years. That was one of my commodities purchases, or like physical commodities purchase. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This has been a crazy run for gold. Just like every day logging on, seeing gold up like 0.5%, 1% is like just mind blowing to me. Watch this thing. Just
a little lore on myself. I actually, I'm in Canada, and on the Toronto Stock Venture Exchange, we have like all the gold junior companies. And in 2011, gold like doubled, and the index went up 100%. So it was like a crazy time to trade. When I was in high school, I used to call in to like Bloomberg and ask analysts that were covering the stocks that I had owned about the stock and their latest like drill results and all this kind of stuff. Stocks would like pump 5-10%. And I'm in high school doing this. So that was kind of like my first introduction to capital markets and like live streaming and talking about, bag working, I guess. So yeah.
There you go.
That's
Dude's
pretty
been shielding his
amazing,
bags
man.
for years.
Ease.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
What's your background, guys, Razor and Batman? What's your background in finance or crypto, or where did that start?
So that's an interesting question. So my pivot to crypto and finance actually started with COVID. Prior to that, I would dabble in like
Great time.
crypto and stocks. Like I think I opened up my Roth when I was in my early teens. So I mean, like I've always been interested in this stuff. It's just that I never really found a good time to do it because I was so focused on like school and studies. But when COVID came, I felt like that was a perfect opportunity to explore this full time. And perhaps not the best way to get started, but I was reading Wall Street Bets and I was like, you know what? These guys are making some crazy gains on these zero DTE plays, which is like 0 day expiration options. So I started jumping into that, which honestly I do not recommend. That's absolutely insanity, right? Making your first start in active trading on crazy options plays, but it worked out. And then I just fell in love with it. It was exciting to me. The communities were fun. And then, of course, I got into crypto in 2021 more actively. Prior to that, I would just like do weird one-offs where I'd like mine Doge, I'd mine Raven Coin, I'd mine like various weird cryptos that would pop up on these mining sites. But this is the first time I actually got really active in the communities, and that was so fun, dude. Like the gains that you could make, the people, they were exciting. It was fun. So I've just been doing that full time now since about 2021. But prior to that, I was actually hovering around in the medical field.
Yeah, and then for me,
Gotcha.
I spent a very small stint working for finance, insurance investment company, and then started working with some NGOs. And then in 2021, Batman's decided to rope me into crypto to start trading those BSC meme coins. We've known each other for more than 10 years, actually. So it was kind of actually great to be able to connect with him more on a, I don't know, on a real level by working together. But we've uh, doing the BSC meme coins for a while, and then kind of discovered Radium and the big Star Atlas token launches, and that sort of brought us over to Solana and the incredible trenching and market opportunities there.
Awesome. You know, you guys kind of, I don't know if it's just me, but it sounds like you guys have a very similar cadence. So, like, it makes sense you've known each other for 10 plus years because I don't know, you can just like, you can just tell, essentially.
That's funny.
But you guys have been grinding, man. These last couple days, you've had streams back to back to back, just like demonstrating. You guys have dropped some new automation tools, products, been going crazy here and like prep for the MET TGE, man. How's
Oh
it
yeah,
feeling over
man,
there?
dude, it's an auspicious week, you know? This is like the big buildup. I think we've been playing with Meteor for almost 2 years now. So this is the
Wow.
culmination of quite an epic journey.
The only
So
people
we're super
making
excited.
money on chain are you DLMMers.
Dude, I feel like that's so true. We have like a pretty cool slideshow or that has a nice graphic that shows you just how much uh these DLMMers are actually making. Like it's crazy. It's an untapped potential still, and the numbers are quite high.
Can I
But
ask
I
real quick before we get into these P&Ls?
oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I think the mindset of people are like, I want to trade the liquid and I want to hit the home run. But what you're doing is like building brick by brick, providing liquidity, earning fees. Like, how should people think about this? Everyone should be DLMing, right?
100%,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, look at this image right here. Like, how did we get this startup capital for that big image? Like, it was through an entire series of small DLMM positions, small win here, and they all stack up to where you can have a really, really big run. Like, I don't know. I would never sneeze at a 20% P&L where I'm profiting $1,000.
And are you always winning in these positions? Like, is there any loss?
Oh, there's always the chance for loss. There's always the chance for the big thing with DLMMs and LPs is impermanent loss.
Mhm.
But sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But like by just strong, like it's like with normal meme coin market, you have to exercise strong risk management, strong and stay convicted with your stop losses and your take profits, so that you can maintain that upward momentum.
Right. So there's some degree
And
of active management. And sorry, Don, really quick, just what is impermanent loss? How do you define that?
Yeah, so that's just basically where the value of the asset that you put in just diverges to the point where it would like say you put Sol into this launch coin Sol pool, right? You put 100 Sol at $200, so you're putting up 20K, right? Um, if the value of Sol drops like say $10, you've already got a $2,000 IL worth of IL on that position. So it's kind of like that. But what your hope here is with this token, or sorry, with this pool, is that the fees that you get will overcome that IL. And that to me makes DLMMing way more interesting, because unlike just buying the token or anything like that that you would do through a normal convention, at least here you have the opportunity to make up that IL through those fees. And oftentimes on like high volume tokens or promising tokens, you overcome that IL rather quickly. Um, so it's not too much of an issue in my opinion, at least with the tokens that I played. I think as far as my total IL goes, I'm very much in the positive overall.
Okay. So I feel like, yeah, I think a lot of people get tripped up with this, and it almost makes it seem like DLME is kind of plus EV, right? And PVE in a sense, because everyone's just so quick to trade. Everyone's trading these pools, but if very few are actually providing liquidity. How does this, like, is there a shot where this gets diluted and then just LPing and DLMing kind of becomes not even worth it at some point, or like what does that look
I
like?
don't see. I hear that a lot, and I have a very strong opinion thinking that it's not PvE, because
Oh,
the whole point with a lot of these routers, like Jupiter, right? They just went off of the Metis router to the Iris router with their V3 swap, which really prioritizes like high liquidity pools, which in this case would be DLMMs. So my thinking is that stuff like DLMMing, or sorry, DLMM pools will be prioritized even more so with this new swap. And the only way to really prioritize those DLMMs is by having a lot of liquidity in there. So to me, if I were to put up like say 20K into this Launchcoin Soul pool, which I did here, I would be happy if other people came in and put liquidity there too, just because that prioritizes this pool, because there's a even fatter stack of liquidity for the specific fee pool here. So to me, that means more volume coming through the pool, which overall translates to even more fees generated for me, even if I might get a smaller cut
mm,
of that. And you kind of saw this with big launches too. Like earlier this year, we had the Trump pool, right? Or the Trump launch. And there was like tens of millions of dollars worth of liquidity in those pools, but you could still go in with like $1,000, right? And you would make decent fees off of that. Like you didn't have to put in $100,000, $10,000. Like you could put a small amount and still get great fees. So I'm less of the opinion that it's PVE. Like, sure, you might not get 100% of the fees in a particular bin, but you can still get like 80%, 70%, 60%, which to me is still a lot, um, with something like this. So I'm all for people following me and bringing in the extra liquidity if it means more activity. And you've also got to keep in mind, like if you see a high TVL pool that has a lot of money locked in there, a lot of that might not be effective liquidity, right? Because the whole point of DLMMing is that you concentrate liquidity in a specific range. So if your range on like Solana's from 200 to $5, and you have like 100 million TVL in there, right? A lot of that TVL could be below 200 or above 205. So it's actually not being used. So sometimes you might look at that and be like, hey, this pool might not be great, but that actually might not be true, right? Because the whole point of DLMing is to concentrate liquidity in a specific range, and that specific range might actually only have like $10,000 in it. So there's always an opportunity for you to really get a lot of fees if you know what you're looking for, in terms of like the active liquidity ranges.
with volume being so low recently across the board,
Yeah.
have you seen DLMing take kind of a backseat?
Um, this actually might be a good time to bring up our slides,
Oh, you have
because we have some.
slides.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
please do.
we came prepared,
So
baby.
Yeah. And then at some point, I want to ask you some scenarios on when to DLM, et cetera. So
Yeah, no,
let
for
me
sure, for
know
sure.
when a good time with that would be.
Boom. Starseed Academy time. Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome to Starseed Academy. We run these as independent live streams sometimes to teach people about DLMMs and help onboard them quickly to Starseed. But we've come up with a very quick version for you today so that we can kind of actually just start showing off our tech.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so I guess this goes to speak to your question about the volume overall, right? So you can kind of see here that the volume is consistently on Meteora, and this actually might be underplaying the volume with how DeFi Llama reports stuff, but the volume is consistently been over a billion for actually, I think quite a while now. Essentially, the whole month of October, it's been consistently above a billion. Even September, a lot of it was over a billion in volume going through Meteor a day.
Wow.
And the fees generated, oh man, I think it's a couple million every day, which is pure insanity to me. I don't know if you guys saw Meteor's announcement earlier today, but they kind of gave some really bullish stats and overview of Meteor quarter by quarter this year so far, and some of last year too. But essentially, in total, they've generated over 1.2 billion in fees, and over a billion of that has gone directly back to the LPers, which is to me that's just an insane stat. Like I've never heard of that before in LPing. Um, that just makes me super bullish about this TGE, honestly. The fact
Dude, it's
that
insane.
yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. Like the way they set up today's announcement, like honestly, it gave me Hyperliquid vibes. So I hope the press goes
Mm.
like Hyperliquid. But of course we'll see. We will see on the 23rd. But the point is the stats that they've been posting and showing on chain for the fees and revenue generated for the active LPer, it's absolute insanity to me. Like it's very much an untapped potential, and a lot of people are sleeping on the gains that you can make on something like this. And you'll see later on in the stream, like we're trying to build a way for us to easily onboard non-LPing natives to the system with just clicking buttons. Like we want to try and push this narrative that like you don't have to actually really know what Meteora is, right? You don't have to understand like all these crazy things like active bins, bin fees, bin steps, like what do they mean mathematically. We want to break it down so your average degen can just hop on the system and make use of Meteora and get fees. Um but
I think
either
so.
way,
So
oh yeah, go ahead.
can I butt in on that too? Because I think like that's the key, right? From an outside perspective, DLLMing, like you said, bins, impermanent loss, all this stuff seems very daunting, right? And I know Starseed's built a system here to make it a lot more simple, a lot more easy. One click, two click, you're good to go. And I think like that's the key. If you guys can destigmatize it and make it not so daunting to get in an LP and make consistent, nice yield, like that's the golden nugget
Maybe
there.
this is
That's
what
how
we
you
do
win.
with the MCG treasury there, Dom. We should be doing
Dude,
that.
I would love to.
Ooh.
I would love to. Star seeded.
Like
Let's
we
do
need
it.
to figure this out.
We do. That's been like an internal conversation just for some reference, guys. We have this treasury growing for the MCG account, and we're like, man, we're trying to show off great ways for the community to like earn pretty passive yield. I know DLMing is not necessarily passive, but pretty consistent yield, good yield, and like benchmark them a few different ways. And this is definitely one way. Maybe after this call, we'll be doing
Yeah,
here.
because our thesis is if us smooth brains can figure it out, anyone can figure it out.
Boom.
That is my mantra. Like, if I can figure it out, me personally, I feel like anyone should be able to do it because I'm not the quickest study. All right, like it takes me a while. Like, I need to read documentation and everything about something to truly understand it. I need to talk to the devs of the protocol. Like even with Meteora, when I was first getting introduced to it, like in January of 2024, I would hop into their like special Zoom sessions. Like this was just like a handful of people, and like I'd get to talk to at the time Ben Chow and stuff like that, and you really got to
That's
ask them
crazy.
questions, which is crazy to me. Like you get access to that, and I had so many questions, man, like hundreds of questions. So I know like it can actually be really a daunting experience, like you guys said. Um, and if you can like reduce that pain point and eliminate it, you can really see the beauty that is Meteor just from the stats alone. Like it's crazy. It's crazy what you can do with it. But it's fun. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
And I don't really see like this is something that's going to be diluted anytime soon. There's always going to be new token launches, and with that, there's going to be new opportunities to LP them. The Meteora's LP army is always behind that whenever they see a new runner. So I think there'll always be opportunities to provide liquidity and get new get volume and generate good fees. Anything from a token that runs up a few 100,000 in market cap to a few million, even to somewhere like you have really big VIPs launching tokens, especially with Meteora. Like whenever you have someone like Donald Trump or Kanye West who wants to launch a token, who are they calling? They're calling Meteora. They're not calling a lot of the other LP platforms. So I don't know. I'm excited for the MET TGE, and I think like this is kind of just a starting point for the whole protocol, especially as a huge onboarding event for new users.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So I guess we can go over to the next slide. Yeah. So this is just explaining what DLMMs are at a very basic level. But like we said before, it's just used to concentrate liquidity. Unlike a lot of other LPing structures out there, this is fantastic. If you say you could do something as crazy as concentrating all your liquidity into one single price bin. So like you can just concentrate like hundreds of thousands of dollars at just $200 for Sol. Which would be pretty wild, but I mean, people do that a lot of the time. But it's fantastic during peak volatility. Sometimes the dynamic fees can run even higher than whatever the base fee pool is. So let's say like the typical fee for a token, like even Believe, right? You guys are familiar with Believe or Launchcoin. Like that has a 2% fee on every swap that goes through. A lot of the tokens that launch on it have that anyway. But during high volatility, sometimes that 2% can run up all the way to 10%, which is pretty wild. So if you are providing liquidity during a high volatility period, I mean, you can get an insane amount of fees just because of the dynamic fee alone. So it's a great system. And this is really, I think, all you really need to understand about it in order to get started. This is like really basic overview.
It's probably super hard to like nail this down to any specifics here, but like, what would the specific range be for you? Let's say you have a token at a million market cap, right? You're playing fresh launches on Believe, we'll even say, right?
Yeah.
Launch via Believe, you got the 2 transaction fees. Maybe it's dynamic up and down ranges, but what would let's see, point one is $1 million market cap.
Yeah.
What would a bin be for something like that? What range?
It really depends on. So this is where things like bin step would come into play. So with a $1 million market cap, I'm assuming most of the time each of those candles, like the buy and sell candles, can be like a couple percent or more. So for something like that, you typically want a higher bin step type pool where each bin here, like you see this orange moving around, each
Yeah.
bin might be a plus or minus 1 or 2% of the price. So something like that, typically with a capture of a like minus anywhere from a minus 20 to a minus 80% drawdown, I think is safe, especially on newer launches, just because sometimes those can really nuke out of nowhere. And you really want to capture, I think, a larger range on lower market caps.
So like a safe bet, say 40%.
Yeah. Yeah, something
Okay.
yeah, 40% probably good, on those lower market cap tokens, 'cause I like, the retracements on some of those are insane.
Yeah.
Like, you can
Okay,
have
true.
one 10,000 like, a couple $1,000 sell, and then you're down, like, 20%. So
True.
I think it's safer to go wider range, the lower the market cap. But once you start encroaching on the, like, 50 million to 100 million range, I like to go tighter. So typically around like a 24%, anywhere from a 10 to 24%, is what I try to capture.
I have a question, and
Noted.
I have some scenarios that I just want to boil this down
Yeah, for sure,
really
for sure.
easy. So, and I don't know if this is the right way to think about this. So, my first question is that when you're putting Sol in, are you getting the same amount of Sol back out It's like the price of SOL might change, but you still get your SOL out when you provide liquidity. Is that right? Plus
Yeah.
the fees.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's look at this example that's on screen right now. So for the SOL USD pool, right? Say we have 200 SOL in here, right? If it pumps back all the way to the right, or wherever we put our concentrated the SOL,
It'd be in the
you'll get
middle.
all your SOL back. Yeah, in the middle. So say we put 200 SOL in. So right in the middle, if it pumps to the right of it, where that white dot is,
Yeah.
you'll get all your SOL back.
Plus your fees.
Plus your fees. Yeah.
So you ideally want to actually buy a fundamentally good token, ideally.
Yeah, typically, yeah.
Often what we'll do is Batman and I trade like this most of the time where we don't buy the token actually. We enter a DLMM position using SOL only, hope that the price of the token dips down a little bit so that through the LP it starts to swap from Solana into the token, and we generate fees through that. Then we hope the price of the token pumps back up, sends us out of range so that we exit with all of our SOL and our profit is just the fees.
Yeah. So in this scenario, what happens if SOL goes down below $200? Do I get my SOL back, or do I get more USDC back? Or
You'll lose some of your SOL because some of it will be converted to USDC.
okay.
It'll be a relatively equivalent amount, but that's kind of where that term impermanent loss comes in, is because the value of the position overall has decreased as the price has gone down and as you've swapped into that lower price token.
Got it. Okay. And then, so, all right, let's talk about other tokens. So if I am DLMing on, let's say, like Orgo or some ICM, or let's say ICM, right? ICM.run. If I DLM their token, if the price of SOL goes down, but the token volume, ICM's token volume is high, I'm earning fees, but I'm losing some of my SOL because the SOL price is down. Is that correct, or am I totally off?
So you're asking if you're losing SOL, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to come up with a mental framework that like people
Yeah.
can look at this and be like, okay, if SOL price goes down, this is what happens. If SOL price goes up, this is what happens. If the ICM price goes down, this is what happens, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it really it depends from like how much of the like it depends on the discrepancy between SOL and that token. So let's say SOL is nuking faster than ICM, right? That can change the active bins that are at play. So sometimes it's a fine dance. Like I think Razor, we have a pretty good example with the Believe token, in fact, where I think it pumped through our range just because SOL was pumping up, but the actual underlying didn't move much, right, Razor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Is the best way to figure this out just gonna be like trying it, just doing it?
yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Because
yeah,
like
but
people
like
buy token and they're like, oh, well, if it goes up 5%, I know how much I own and I make this much money. But this is just, yeah.
yeah, no, it can depend because when you're playing with both SOL and another token, and both are really volatile, like SOL is right now, because I think Trump just mentioned something about the China deal not happening, and then I think SOL just nuked like 2%, right? Like that changes the price action in those active bins. Like for something like Believe, right? I think it was consolidating around the 7 cent range this morning, but SOL started pumping like crazy because there was a lot of hopium in the market. Despite the launch coin or Believe not pumping, that still took us out through our range just because SOL was moving up. So you definitely have scenarios like that where there is somewhat of a divergence between the two assets, and it can still pump you through your range just because of that. And it's hard to explain or have you visualize that without like you actually doing it and seeing it happen for the first time. Because it doesn't make much sense, right? Like, why would the token pump through my range if it's just SOL that's pumping and not the token itself? But that's just how it works when you pair any kind of token to Sol specifically. The thing that makes it, I think, a bit more easier to understand is when you pair it to USDC. That just makes things way simpler.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas when you have like, I would consider Sol volatile right now, honestly. But when you pair it with another volatile asset, then things get a bit dicey. When the underlying token kind of doesn't pump along with Sol. Because ideally, if you want to pump through your range, just based on the token alone, you need the token to pump at a higher degree than Sol is, which doesn't always happen, especially if you're playing tokens that are consolidating, like say Launchcoin.
Yeah.
Maybe what would be valuable for me is like seeing some sort of chart that explains like scenarios. Like if Sol
Mhm.
goes up, and the token stays the same, this is what happens. Like just very generalized scenarios. Obviously, there's probably a lot of
Yeah, no, for
caveats,
sure.
but like, or a simulator, right? Like, I don't know. There's something missing here. At least I'm a very visual learner, and this
Yeah.
still is like just so over my head. And I've been doing crypto for a long time. This is over my head.
Yeah, no, for sure. We can definitely come up with some kind of visual. I know there's a tool out there by Geek Lad, who's one of the like leads at Meteora. He does like a lot of educational stuff, and he put out a tool where you can kind of like simulate bin prices and all that. And I think you can play around with the price or not. But either way, that I can look for that tool and like send it to you. Um, it could be a very good way to visualize how all this stuff actually plays out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know you guys have that slideshow, so we'll let you guys continue run through that.
Yeah, so our solution to all this stuff, like last time we were here, we just kind of showed you the Starseed dashboard, which we were considering our like one-stop shop. It has all these widgets on it, where you can have your charting, you can open DLMMs. We have the DLMM screener to find top pools on Meteora, among other many widgets. But the new thing that we have now is Starseed Automate, which we think is the next step and the next evolution with providing liquidity. I think a lot of people will want automation strategies going forward, um, especially with season 2 for Meteor, where there's a lot of points to be had. Stuff like automation, I think, will play a key role in onboarding a lot of people, and honestly keeping previous power users in the game easily. But essentially, what we try to do is we want to be able to automate all your Meteor DLMM positions specifically. Uh, Even if you don't use Starseed, no matter what platform you use to open your positions, you can come over to automate and easily manage all those positions. And we released it currently in closed beta. So if you wanted to get in, like we have to whitelist your wallet just because we're still stress testing the system. But we have various strategies already, like take profit stop loss, which is fantastic, especially for like those low market cap tokens you mentioned. Not having a stop loss in place can actually like really screw you. Like it's already saved me because I slept through some positions that started to nuke. Um, we have auto exit, which is fantastic if you just have tokens or something like that and you want to exit them in a DLMM after it goes through your range. But of course, we have other ways to onboard users with like our scale out automation, which lets you go into a DLMM based on any token that's in your current holdings. Um, we did release a earlier version of that. I forget if we had that available on your first stream or not, but essentially a pain point with the original scale out that we had was that non-natives still had to manage their position, right? Like they had to keep an eye on it. Um, so it was easy to onboard people, and we did, especially from the Uranus community, but they still had to pay attention to it after the fact. And a lot of them had questions like, hey, what do I do if it like falls out of range, or what do I do if it pumps out of range? Like they still had to close it and stuff, and that may have been confusing to them. Whereas now with Automate, that's all handled seamlessly and autonomously.
So I
So
think
we're
I think like the very simple version of this is that you'll have a with Starseed Automate, you'll have a DLMM position and you can attach an automation bot to that position that executes actions based on the criteria you set. So that can be if you want the position to close when you hit a stop loss level or a take profit level, Great. Automate automatically does that. If you want your positioned, you go out of range in your position and you want to close as soon as you go out of range so that you capture the win and don't start losing to impermanent loss. Great. You can set a bot with automate and Starseed does it automatically. So it's much faster too than if you were doing this manually, because these actions are happening the second those criteria are met, without having to wait for human input, without having to sign wallet transactions. It's just faster.
And to take it even one step further, is there going to be some sort of AI integrated into this to where I could just go on and say, "Hey, what do you recommend I do? What kind of range do you think I should put this in for this asset? What kind of stop loss do you think I should run?" And to where that AI can, obviously, it's not always going to be accurate, but to give me some sort of or gauge on some of that info. Is that something you guys have thought about?
Something we've
Yep.
thought about to an extent, and actually we already have one tool available that helps you with setting those ranges. It's actually here on the dashboard panel right here. So here we have our top pools widget on the Starseed dashboard that's just showing what are the top performing DLMM pools right now. If I was able to click that drop down arrow right there, Starseed would provide you with a suggested range that's based on recent volume for the token, where the price has been. So that's one way in which you could take a Starseed provided range and throw it into a position. Of course, you still want to do your own due diligence and
Hmm.
not so advanced where I would like fully have use that as my only
Blind
indicator.
faith.
Yeah. But it's good at least for a starting point to help you figure out, okay, well, if this chart is trading sideways for a while, and I think could be a good range for me to generate fees, what should I set as the top and bottom of my range? Starseed gives you that information.
Sweet.
All right, so I'm in this thing that you're sharing. Walk me through a setup because I want people to learn how to do this.
Josh, can
On
you
their
share your
own.
screen? Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, I got you. Okay, so walk me through this here. Oh, can we drag me on there? Yeah, thanks. So what should I do? Just walk me through it.
Yeah, for sure. So this is basically just taking your basic pool parameters for any specific token. So for something like this, it really depends. Like, what token do you want to see? I feel like for the purposes of an easy example, something like Sol USDC would make sense.
Yeah, or
Um,
even you could go to your app and what's a pool you would recommend? Like you would, if you open the
yeah.
app right now, like think through, like, okay, these are the top profitable ones. Like, should we be? Yeah, here, let's do this. I like it.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think the hottest one that's been getting a lot of traction is this easy to predict token. So I'll share the CA for you right now. If we look at the chart real quick, it's had a very nice 24 hours about. It started out at a million or two, and then I think a lot of people in the LP army were DLMMing this and generating fees down here. And then
Wow.
there was an incredible range for close to 8 hours, 10 hours. So it's kind of at a point like where you've got to decide if there's going to be more gas in the token and you'll stay in this range, or if there'll be a retracement. But this might be something we look at and think about using a DLMM strategy on. So
Okay. So let's I'll toggle my screen back and just walk me through here what I'm putting in these parameters, and we'll maybe keep yours shared as well. Just we'll go back and forth.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually going to give you a link to Meteora,
Okay.
just so it makes it easier.
Yeah.
And this will have like some pool information that you can pull up. So
Okay.
essentially, how you would fill this out. So like the bin step would be 100 just based on what's on Meteora. And this is just the price increment between each bin. So for a 100 bin step, that means each bin that you see on screen will be a 1% price difference over the previous or the next bin.
Right. And just
Um,
so everyone knows, I'm getting this bin step right here.
Yep, from the pool information
Yeah.
on Meteora. So we're gonna put 100 in there. So the price range is whatever price range, I believe in Sol is what Geeklad does that you want to capture. So here you'd have to actually have the chart up, Or what you could do is you'll just go to Meteora and add position.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go add position. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then just,
See
like,
it.
toss in some amount of soul, so it can just be, like, 0.1 or something
All
like
right.
that, and
What
then
like
if
I have 5 soul.
5
You
soul,
know,
okay,
I want to
we're
make some
going
money,
big
guys.
we're
I
going
want to
big
make.
on this one.
Yeah, I want to make money, guys.
Alright, so you put 5 soul in there, and then
Yeah.
scroll down.
Yeah.
You can choose one of the strategies. So spot, this is just going to be a pretty linear distribution along the entire range that you pick. You've got curve, which is a bit more intense. So this concentrates liquidity at the current price of the token. So this actually I wouldn't recommend for newbies, just because it increases your chance of IL. So if this token really nukes, you're going to have a way higher cost basis on the token. On something like this, I probably would do a bid ask or a spot. Bid ask, that just concentrates more liquidity at the bottom of your range, so your average will be way lower, which I think is good for risky or new launches. Um, but the thing that I wanted to show you on here was the min and max price at the bottom. If you scroll down a bit more, so you just want to copy those numbers over
Okay.
to the tool.
Yep. So min, max. You know what? I'm starting to. Things are clicking. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. And then
So
was someone
real
gonna say
quick, can I
something?
butt into yeah,
Yeah.
with this range you've given to where it starts bidding you in here as you kind of go towards the bottom of the range, would you just say is this how you just DCA into even long-term projects you just want to hold for a
Yes.
while?
Yes.
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
I really like that
Bro,
right
we're
here.
getting it. Yo.
Yeah,
Yo,
so if
that
you say I wanted to buy like 10 soul worth of ICM, right?
Yeah.
And we'll go through this during the live demo of our platform, like we'll trade some tokens, especially ones that were mentioned on stream. If you wanted to DC into ICM, instead of buying 10 soul now, what you could do is open a bid ask with a say 10% or 12% drop down. And you'll buy tokens on the way down while getting fees, which is nice because you lower your cost basis even more thanks to those fees.
Right. And this, when you say a 10% drop down, that's what I'm doing right here, right?
Yeah, so it'll be easier to visualize if you actually scroll up a bit
Okay.
and turn off the autofill.
right above soul.
Autofill. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then delete the token amount because we don't want to buy tokens here. We want to just go purely soul side. Yeah, delete that and then put your 5 soul back.
Yep.
Perfect. So if you scroll down now, you'll see the position if you
Oh,
only put in
wow.
soul.
Yeah.
Um, so for something like this, since it's 100 bin step, if you scroll down some more, you'll
Yeah.
see that this is capturing a almost 50% drop down in price, which I think actually might be good considering it's at a 20 mil market cap. Like when this retraces,
Right.
it probably is going to retrace hard.
So this would
Um,
be a full 5 soul fill at minus 47%
Correct, yes.
from the price
With
today.
most of
Now,
it being used towards the end of that range. And if you actually
right.
scroll up a bit, you can hover over each of those bars and you'll see how much soul is in each one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and could you make this like less, like let's say minus 20%? Could
Yeah,
I?
yeah. Put
Okay.
in the minus 20% right now,
Oh my goodness, Dom. What have we been doing?
and you'll see it becomes tighter. So you have even
Oh,
more soul per bin.
Which means more fees every time that the tokens are swapping through your
oh my
bins.
goodness. The mental overload of not opening this Meteora DLM thing is just
Yeah.
killing me because yeah, this is the way, guys.
Yeah. See, it's not that daunting actually when you see it
Yeah,
visually. It's pretty easy.
this is easy.
Yeah,
It's a
Okay.
lot. It's just visually scary at first
yeah.
glance because there's a lot of new information, and then you hear
Yeah.
someone throw out the words impermanent loss, and then you just get scared. But it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that complicated, and that's
Right.
kind of
And
what
the other way I could LP is like pairing it up with whatever this token is.
Yeah, if you wanted to go 50-50 or
Yeah.
whatever ratio, because the beauty of DLMMs is that you can go single-sided, you can
Yeah.
go 20-80, you can go 10-90, like, it doesn't matter. You can do any amount that you want. So if you just got token, say you got this token really early, right? Like, say you sniped it at 100K market cap, you could put all those tokens in a DLMM on the way up and sell as it goes up, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
because you're getting insane fees probably. Because if you look over to the left, you see that the base fee for this pool is 1%, right? That means at minimum, every swap that goes through here, you get 1% of that. But if you scroll down a bit more, it's like the dynamic fee is 2.68. So you're actually getting over 100% fees
Jeez,
than
bro.
normal,
What?
which is crazy just because there's volatility in this token right now.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so
And
just
that's the
imagine,
and that's the special sauce of Meteora compared to
yeah,
a lot of the other AMMs or CLMMs is that they have this
Yeah.
dynamic fee component that really rewards traders like you and me for providing liquidity. It's an extra value add.
Yeah, so I've got my 5 soul in here. Let's say so this is for entering a position. Let's say I just want to earn the fees and try and like I don't care about entering the position or price movement. I just want to earn fees. What would I do?
so you want to just like earn fees passively on this token
I just
without,
want to earn fees. Yeah.
uh,
I have a
and you,
treasury, I have
yeah.
soul, but I'm not looking to enter the position. This setup was to enter a trade.
Correct. Yeah. Or if everything works out, you could just do what we typically do with like Launchcoin or Believe, is where we open a soul sided position, right? And then it goes to the downside. We're not closing it out because we're hopeful that all the bullish catalysts and everything will pump us back out of range,
Right.
and we get all our soul back, and then we get the fees, and those fees
Ah,
are the profits that we keep. So
okay.
we actually have a pretty cool slide on this because we kind of changed up our flywheel and
Yeah,
how
do
we
you want
do
to pull
things.
it up?
Yeah, and we'll kind of show you what we're doing with our treasury. So yeah, this is our new DLM flywheel setup. So previously, what we were doing is we were taking a certain percent of profits from our platform and throwing it in a DAM V2, which is a dynamic AMM, um, which honestly, with Meteor, they kind of pioneered a new one where it's more concentrated than your typical AMM. However, you have to go 50-50, right? So we'd always have to put 50% of our soul in there, which not bad. I mean, technically, we locked up what, Razor, like over 6 million tokens or something in there.
Yep.
Um, but the fees there are good, but it didn't really translate to a lot of fees that could be used to burn the token. So as of I think the 15th, so a little less than a week ago, we instituted a new DLMM flywheel where we're taking that revenue that would typically go into that DAM V2 and we're putting it in DLMM pools. And since then, with just 2 burns, like we've burned over 3 million seed, which I think is pretty fantastic for such a short time frame of implementing this system. The P&L cards we had for those 2 plays were pretty substantial given the size of our account that we're playing with. So the gains are fantastic, especially if you want to grow your treasury. Because those small compounding gains, like you might see like 5 to 10%, and it might not be that impressive, but those compounding gains add up very quickly in this market. And I think it's a bit more conservative, especially if you wanted to play with something like your treasury. Being on that conservative side is the way to go. And you can play a lot of high market cap tokens and feel safe about it versus um, something that's lower market cap and really risking the treasury getting blown
Yeah.
up in one play.
Yeah. Okay. Like I think so for our, treasury, it's just mostly soul denominated, some USDC. We would
Yeah.
be like, let's say like we like CLED, for instance. Like
Yeah.
if CLED comes down in price, we're acquiring CLED with the treasury. But if we don't close that position and then it goes up in
Yeah.
price, we get our soul back plus the fees. But like
Plus the fees.
if we decide to close out that position and CLED is down, let's say, we're just buying essentially CLED on the dip in the treasury.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And there's actually a really cool strategy that a lot of people employ with stuff like this, where they call it the bid ask flip, right? So you remember how you did a bid ask in that one example on your screen, where you're purchasing more of the tokens at the downside. So what people do is they open that wide range. They use their soul to DCA into that token. They have all the tokens and they do a bid ask flip. They put the tokens back into a bid ask, and then you're selling a lot of those tokens for a higher price at the higher end of your range. So you come out even you actually make a greater profit that way. But of course, you only want to do that on tokens you think will actually pump back up. It doesn't always happen. But that's a strategy that we've been employing with our belief positions, is where we do that bid ask flip, and the gains are actually really nice on promising tokens. So for something like CLED, I would entertain that bid ask flip.
And when you do the bid ask flip, that will be selling tokens on the way up, just like you were buying on
Correct.
the way down. Okay. What if
Correct.
you just want to hold for a longer period of time? You would just extend that range
Yeah,
higher?
yeah. So with Meteora, they support up to 1,400 bins for a position, which is actually insane. So yeah, you like for that one play we just did, it was a minus almost 50% for one position, and that's just 69 bins. So you could do that 10x, and you could capture like a 5x gain in the token if you think it's going to
Oh
go
wow.
that high. Um, so yeah, you can set it to whatever you want, and you can capture whatever gain you think you might see with the token. So if you think CLED is going to go 2x, you'll essentially open up two positions on that, and capture that to the upside.
Cool.
But yeah, no, it's a cool tech. This is awesome tech, I think. Um,
It's incredible. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah. All right. So let's talk about sorry, what product things do you want to talk about? Like I want to know, so the automation is like we'll
yeah.
just drop money into Starseed and it will do all this for us, or
So you still have to go into a pool yourself, right? And we automate everything after the fact. So if you wanted to go into CLED, and in fact we can play with some tokens right now and
let's
find
do it.
something that's good. Essentially, what you would do is you'd find the contract of whatever token you want to go into. You'll open the position, and then on our automate page, you'll see all the open positions you have on that wallet, and from there you can automate things. So you can add the stop loss, you can add the auto exit, which is fantastic for something like a DCA into a token. Um, but yeah, let's find something. Was there any
Let's literally
particular
just
token
do
you guys were
CLED.
interested in?
CLED's been
CLED?
ranging in a pretty. I mean, it's been a decently wide range, but it's been ranging sideways for the last couple days here. So maybe it's been a good opportunity.
Dude, the price action on CLED is actually like amazing.
Dude, it looks great. It looks like it's ready to just explode, to be honest. But yeah, I would imagine for DLMing, this is probably pretty good price action.
Yeah.
So what I just used is on our Starseed command dashboard is I used our top pools widget to filter for the ticker CLED, which helped me figure out pretty quickly what's the pool people are using. And it looks like it's this 1% 100 bin step pool, which I think is pretty good. That's pretty normal for a token like this. And then I can just quickly pull up the contract or click this chart icon and it pops up on the left of the screen.
Cool.
All right.
Where do you guys see fair value for CLED right now?
Oh yeah, we're talking. Dude. Well, to be honest, Avi's moving really well. The thing is, we're just in a suppressed market, right? From the terms of nothing's
Yeah.
really running. Like everything's kind of got a ceiling and a certain market cap. I think all things considered, if the market turns around, we have like a market that's good for uh, technology and stuff. I do think it could go
Yeah.
much higher. Look, put it like this: Avi just signed a deal to get like hundreds of some of the top shows and movies specifically only licensable for training through CLED, which was just like a massive step. They've talked to some massive data labs, AI labs that said, "Hey, we will write you checks forever as long as if you can give us 100 million assets, we'll just write you checks forever." And so like they're really testing this out. This is like in such a growth industry too. And I think currently they're raising at 100 million valuation from equity, and we know equity will be tied to the token. Again, right now it's just a trust me, bro, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if he does go through with this equity anchored strategy, which I'm sure he will, because him and Maya are working closely together, and that's the Street launch pad, which will be an equity anchored launch pad. I don't know, like the fair value is at least. Let's say he gives 50% of equity anchored, at least 50 mil, just fair value. So like that's even on a discount right now here at 32 mil. And then you add the flywheel and the verticals and the growth field that Avi's in and CLED's in. I do think it like a fair value is probably over 100 mil, which sounds crazy for this market, but it is impressive. Now say what you want about Avi. I guess Avi's the the thing that's going to fluctuate this, right? Is Avi going to be able to close some of these deals? Is Avi a little? Some people don't like Avi because he's outspoken, he's young, he's crazy, whatever you want to say about him. So like that's the factor, I guess people it's a little difficult to account for. But yeah, I think Cled goes to probably it's been consolidating here in this range for a while. I do think its next leg probably goes closer to like 75, 80 mil, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean he's a hungry founder, and I feel
Yeah.
like those types of dudes typically will really, really grind out, right? And yeah, I mean that's what I was reading. I was like seeing like they were doing that high raise, and this was like one of the projects that are severely undervalued compared to that raise, is the thesis I was seeing, and it sounds like it really is. So I think for something like this, doing something like a what, like a 25-30% drop down might be good. What do you think? Because that would take us
As
down
like
to like a yeah, just to like DCA into this token, or just to like capture a nice range for fees.
mhm. I
Um,
would say no lower than 21 mil, probably that last wick. If you go back, let's see. If you go back 4 days, 8 hours ago, I would say that
yeah.
low is probably you don't breach it.
Yeah, like, even when we look at the volume profile right now, like, we see that point of control, which is, like, that really big horizontal red line.
Mhm.
We see, like, a lot of the volume tends to gravitate towards that range, like, around, like, 33 mil, 33 mil. So, yeah, I would say a drop down to, like, I don't know, 24 between 24 and 22 mil is probably a good range to capture on something like this.
Would that be you're saying when to start bidding, or like like lowest you want to see it go?
Hopefully, that's where that would be the lowest that we would go, and we wouldn't dip below that. So when I do open a or when we open a range on something like this, Razor, if we wanna go ahead and do something like that to demonstrate, essentially, we would just capture a minus 25%, and hopefully the market keeps it in that range.
Mhm.
But of course, if it dips below that, it might not be the worst thing. Like we can just hold on to those tokens or keep the position open, and hopefully we pump back up. Because it sounds like the narrative is pretty strong, and
Mhm.
bidders will come in if it drops below, like say 20 mil. I would imagine, right? Um,
If I had the
yeah,
opportunity, I would say like I would probably turn on a DCA sub 27, right? Sub below that wick
yeah.
and just fill it all the way down to, yeah, like you said, those lower ranges of like 22 mil, 23 mil.
Okay, so if it's like you have to decide what your goal is going to be with this kind of DLMM position. There's two different routes that I see. One is you want to DCA into the token, and at that point, you would go with a bid ask strategy, like we talked about, so that you can get to the bottom of your range. Most of your liquidity, your soul is buying at the bottom of that range, and then you're getting the most bang for your buck in terms of buying that token. Or the other route would be is, do you want to accumulate as many fees as possible? With that, I think I would probably trend toward a spot position. But like if you want to, then that way each time, each step that the price of CLED goes down, you're generating fees, which you can hold for the long run if we pump all the way up to 70, 80 million. But obviously, like the ROI on that would be a little less than if you DCA'd and bought tokens through the bid ask option that I mentioned at first. What's nice is we've got tools with Starseed Automate that can do both of those things. So we'll show off some examples of doing both of those strategies. And also, by the way, that's something that we have this huge Meteor has their huge MET LGE TGE liquidity generating event on Thursday. And we're going to be employing those same kinds of strategies too. So what you see us, if we're doing something on CLED, if any other token that pops up, you can also apply those lessons to MET on Thursday.
Okay, let's get our thing configured for that. So I have my dashboard open. I have my top pools on the right. I've tried to configure exactly like yours, Jupiter Pro, middle price chart. When I come here, so let's say the MET TGE pool pops up, will they drop a CA that I then put into that chart search there, or where do I put the CA?
Yeah. So there's a few. This is a nice dashboard setup that I have just for looking at charts and screening new plays. So you'll be able to get that CA. I'm sure Meteora will posted all over their website, and you can put it into this chart. Or if you wanted another ability to open a position, if you're on Starseed Automate, which we have get from the menu bar, and we'll walk through this whole page too so that you're familiar with it. But at the bottom of this page is this DLMM pools panel. And you can, I'm going to get the CLED CA real quick. You can put the MET CA in here and it'll pop up with every pool that's available right now. So the big ones you're going to be looking for is a MET Sol pool or a MET USDC pool. We've been doing a little bit of strategizing. I think there's going to be a strong opportunity with the MET Sol pools. But you'll click that drop down and you'll be able to see each of the individual pools and some of those kind of scary numbers or unfamiliar numbers like bin step, fee percent. Really, we rank these by what has been the highest performing pool. So most of the time, unless you have a specific strategy in mind, you can go with whatever's listed and ranked at the top. So you click the plus icon if you want to start opening a position, and it'll pop up with this walkthrough wizard. You can enter the amount of tokens you want. I don't have any CLED right now in this wallet, so I can enter in Sol. Let's say I want to do a 3 Sol position. Enter that, click next. Then you're able to select what strategy you want to do, spot, curve, or bid ask. I think let's do the example where you want to DCA into the token. So I've done some little bit of charting here based on our volume analysis. And you suggested at the bottom of this wick here is probably a safe bet in terms of where it'll bottom out again. Okay, great. That's about a minus 29% drop. So if I go back to the pop-up here, I can enter in this minimum price deviation. And what that means is like you're setting the bottom of your range. How far away from the current price percentage-wise do you want the bottom of your range to be? So,
and you know,
29.
I'm not sure if you guys are even care to hear this or if you're receptive to it, but what would be really cool too is to see if there were tools like, you know, just on TradingView, how you can pull up tools and actually tool on the chart. I would love to see this physically represent on the chart so I could like visualize it as I'm setting these numbers. I think that'd be a really cool like feature. Do you see what I'm getting at there or no?
Ooh, yeah, that'd be really cool to like where if you've, let's say we have this this pop-up right here and on the side there's a chart.
Mm-hmm.
You
It would adjust.
You put in like 29% or something here, and it shows you what the top and the bottom of your range is and like where your liquidity is concentrating as it, you know, you get to the extremities of the range. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to keep our dev locked up in the cage.
Lock them through TG.
Yep. Okay, so we've got the bottom of our range about 29%. Click next. Confirm the position, and because we have our wallet hooked up through Starseed Automate, we can just click create position, and we don't have to sign any confirmations or anything. That makes it a little bit quicker. Position's created, and we'll see it pop up in a moment here on our dashboard.
This is super cool.
So sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we wanted to make this process super easy, so you don't even have to open it through Starseed. So, Josh, like we have a current whitelist going for this. So if you wanted to follow along, you could still open the position on Meteora, and then as soon as you get whitelisted, you can use Automate right now, but you can still reap the benefits of having an open position right now. But either way, what we want to do is like anyone that even just uses Meteor, they can still use this. Like you don't have to use our platform to open up positions.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I configured my dashboard on Starseed. I have my wallet hooked up. I have CLED Sol. I've literally gone through the steps.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's actually really easy to do once we.
Yeah, we try to simplify it, but we just want to keep that option open for everyone. So we can onboard them easily.
And so is that an open position? You can see it here represented there.
Yep. So here you can see your open positions in two ways. here on our dashboard, there's this LP positions widget that you can add to the page manually, or it's also in our default layout. This is actually my personal trading layout. We've just made it the default layout for everyone. So we've got our CLED position right here, and you can kind of see it represented. You can see what your liquidity is, the fees that you'll be earning, and then here is like your visual of where you're at on the range. This is just like how on that Meteora page, you could see where your liquidity is being concentrated. So we did a bid ask, and you can see that, okay, the liquidity, we started at the current price, which is at the upper end of the range here. And then as it price dips all the way down to about $23 million, that's where you'll get your most fees and your highest concentration of liquidity. And then it's also on this automate page that we should walk through. But we've got the CLED sold position here in this open positions panel that tracks the same information.
No, you said you didn't have any CLED. So how is this showing up on your, or is it just Solana and it'll fill in CLED? You don't need any CLED at the moment.
So you can see that like the CLED SOL here is the name of the position or the pool that we're in. So we only entered in Solana, and then as the price of CLED dips, that SOL that we put up is going to automatically convert into CLED. And so eventually I'll be a CLED holder, hopefully, if this works out.
Got you.
But right now, yeah, you only need to go in one side if you want. You can be fully CLED, you can be fully Solana, or you can do both.
Cool. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Guys,
So Batman,
I'm thrilled. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
do you want to walk us through the dashboard, and I can point things out as we go along this journey?
Yeah, for sure. So like at the top and the chart here, we have your typical performance graphs and data. So you can see the amount of SOL that you're earning on average, how much you're getting per day, all based on your closed positions. And then on the right, you've already kind of seen our open position chart. This is where you will see all the positions you've either opened through Starseed, Meteora, or whatever platform. As long as you have open DLMM positions on the wallet that's connected, you'll be able to see them here. And from here, you can select automation strategies, which we'll showcase shortly. And then you've got your token holdings widget, which just shows you all the tokens you have in your wallet. And from here, there's a specific automation feature that's exclusive to the token holdings widget. And this just is called our scale out. And this basically lets you put any token that's in your wallet into a DLMM, and we automatically figure out what the best pool is for that token. So here we give predefined settings. So we've got the slow and steady, we've got a medium and a fast setting, and that just does a 10% scale out, a 5%, and a 1% respectively. So if you just want to sell your tokens very quickly, you can go into the fast option here, and we automatically put all those tokens in the whatever the top pool is. And as soon as you're scaled out, our bot will close the position, and you will get all the SOL in your wallet on top of any fees that you might earn. So that is a pretty cool feature that we really designed.
And that'll scale out, like the quickness of that scale out will be dependent on volume.
Correct. Yeah. So as long as there's buying volume, it should scale you out. Of course, if it's a slow volume day or there's no volume, then of course that position will just stay open.
So for example, if we had CLED and we wanted to scale out our CLED really fast, you could open a scale out position with Starseed Automate, but that is contingent on the price of CLED going up, so that as the price of CLED goes up, the DLMM would convert it into SOL. If that doesn't happen, then you're not going to get scaled out.
And that's even on a micro level, depending on how fast you want to scale out. Like it can go up from 30 mil to 31 mil, and you can scale out a full position in that range.
Correct.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's based on the option you select. So like, if you're in that 100 bin step pool, it'd be like going up a single bin.
Got you.
If you select the fast option. Or if you're trying to get the most out of your position, say you DC8 into CLED and you want to scale it out over the long run, you would go with a slow and steady option to capture a 10% price increase though. Though I think with the one we were talking about, you're trying to get more than 10% out of that. So we can talk about configuring those settings later.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I guess moving on down this little dashboard. So we got the active bots. These are just all the bots that you've started up, and then it has various information that you can find here, like the config and actions. And we'll go more into that when we open up another position. Recent activity, that's just all your recent bot activity. So anything that got closed out, you'll see there. And then you can also create a pretty cool P&L card if you wanted to share that. And then the DLMM pools widget, you kind of saw that earlier as a Razor walk through that. That just lets you open up a position on Meteora through our platform. And of course, we sort it by whatever the highest fee generating and highest volume and TVL pool is up top. So even if you don't know much about Meteora, you can typically just go with one of the top three, and you should be good to go. And then, of course, we just have the wallet management. And here you can either generate wallets with us, or you can also import your wallet. And we're using industry standard AES 256 encryption, which is, like I said, industry standard. It's very secure. I personally have my main wallet on the site, and I'm comfortable with the security we have. But of course, if you don't want to do that, you can generate a wallet with us and export that wallet to something like Phantom or your Jupiter wallet or whatever you use. And then you can move some funds there and then use our platform like Automate very easily. But yeah, we can go ahead and actually put on some automation on this CLED position.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's say you're in that scenario. You've opened your position on CLED. You're trying to scale into the or DCA into the token. Great. You've opened your position. Let's set an automate strategy. So we've got this lightning bolt icon next to each of your open DLMM positions. You press that and you're able to select what strategy you want to use. Right now we've got 2 different strategies available for our users, stop loss or take profit. We can do another example of that later. Or what we want to do with CLED here is auto exit. So that'll, once you go out of range, you'll automatically close the position and get all your tokens back. So we want to DCA into CLED. So we'll do the auto exit option. And here is where you can configure some of your settings for this automatic bot. So we're trying to DCA into the token, which means I don't want to exit on the upper range because we won't have had any opportunity to DCA yet. And I'll keep exit on the lower range on so that once we go out of range at 23 million, we will close the position. We're trying to accumulate tokens here. So I want to also turn off the convert all to SOL and the sell all fees option because I want to hold all those fees so that I can sell them later at a higher price. So this is my setup for the CLED SOL position, and then I can just create the auto exit bot. Here's a confirmation page on that. During our closed beta, we're doing a limited time discount for creating these automation bots. We've reduced it to 0.004 SOL. I'm an admin, so my fee luckily gets waived, but that's a nominal fee just so that we cover our bot infrastructure and maintenance costs. Once we go fully live, that will be 0.006 SOL, and we can talk more about that fee structure later too. But press the pay button and auto exit will create a bot automatically. It should pop up here in a few seconds on the active bots tab. There we go. So we've got 2 things going on here. CLED SOL bot has popped up under the active bots tab.
There we go.
And you can also see in the open positions, this red dot has been replaced with a green dot, which lets you know, okay, this position has a bot attached to it.
Can't get more simple than that.
Straightforward. So now you can monitor your position from here. This might be a multi-day position as you get scaled into CLED. But what's also cool is you can actively watch the bot in action. So here in the active bots panel, you've got 2 buttons here next to your position. If you want to exit that bot because you've decided I don't actually want to close that DLMM once we get to the bottom of the range, the X will give you some options to stop the bot. And there's some options there too if you want to switch everything back to Sol. Say the market and economy is looking really, really bad and you think the token's about to rug or something. This could be a way to really quickly save yourself by turning everything back into Sol. So that's an option for you. And then if you want to watch the bot work in action, you can actually see all the logs that see how the bot is thinking in real time. So we've just started the bot. We pulled open the logs. You can see the strategy that we've selected as a auto exit strategy. And then now the position is monitoring. So you can see it's keeping track of your position's value, how many fees you've got, your liquidity, and it's just going to be keeping track every few seconds about where the position is in your range, so that the moment that you go out of range on the downside, Starseed will close and it's as quick as possible.
Yeah,
Nice.
and another thing to mention, each position here is its own mini server. So each one gets its own pod that's self-healing and everything. So if this bot did go down for some reason, it'll try and repair itself and come online again. So you don't have to do anything. Like you just have to sit back and relax. You can go out, touch grass, do anything you want. Of course, during the closed beta, you might want to keep a close eye on it just because sometimes we make announcements where you have to do stuff with your bot. But ideally, when this is in public release, you can just set it and forget it, is our mantra with this. But yeah, no, this I think should address a lot of pain points that come with automation. Because I don't know if you guys have ever done a lot of like NFT botting or token pre-sale sniping, but man, it is complex sometimes. Like you have to download, you have to download programs sometimes. You have to go out and rent servers and RPCs, and then you have questions like, hey, what is the best RPC, right? Because I want the best when it comes to this stuff. So here we kind of take all of that out, and you just click a few buttons, and you got a full automation suite here.
Sweet. Dude, I think we got to talk about the seed token too. You guys have started to burn. Have you guys considered creating like a fund, or maybe you have that and I missed it? A fund where you basically just DLLM and take fees and either use that to buy back and burn, or use it to distribute to holders, or is that something you guys have considered?
So right now, on that one slide that we had, what we do is we do have a little fund that we use to play with the DLMMs, and we use that to burn our seed. And so far, we've instituted that and doing that here. We're just waiting for some of our tokens to pump back up, like Believe. And once it does, of course, those fees will be used to buy back and burn seed. We've discussed doing somewhat of a fund for. And just the implications. Sometimes it gets a bit dicey, especially if I don't know how you were thinking the fund should be structured, but I think some people were asking for them to like put up their own capital, and then we kind of like DLMM their stuff for them. Which I mean that gets kind of risky,
Yeah,
it is.
It's
But
scary.
the use case for us is like, this isn't our world, and
Yeah.
we want to deploy to kind of these more passive strategies. Obviously,
Mhm.
you want to just put money in a vault or a wallet, and it just makes money. But yeah,
ideally. Sure. I mean, like obviously, I'm sure you guys can see the angle to people that don't know a lot, seeing someone trusted in the LP army like Starseed, see the
Mhm.
technology you're building, and would just love to, hey, let me deposit $1,000 and you guys keep what 25% of all
Yeah.
profits, 10% of all profits, and then you grow your treasury. The copy traders are happy with like whatever you want. But yeah, I see where it gets dicey. That's when you get angry people. If you lose money, at the end of the day, there's risk involved with trading, and lots of people just don't understand that.
Yep, no, for sure. Like there have been a lot of other projects that have done that where
Mhm.
they took a fund or they used essentially investor money to like say leverage trade or something. And then when it blows up, like that's the end of the project.
Yeah.
And of course, like we can place really safe bets, right? Like Sol. But then you have a day like that one Friday where things nuke like crazy, and then you're essentially SOL, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, if you do DLMMing, at least you're not getting liquidated, right? But of course, if you're in, say, a really risky meme coin, that might not actually recover after a day like Friday,
Mhm.
right? So there are a lot of things to consider. It's something that we've definitely discussed and we're thinking about. There are other ideas we've had, especially with prediction markets, where we have a fund for something like that. Because those of us on the team, like we can bond a lot of these things ourselves.
Mhm.
So it'd be cool to get like
You're talking like a
a
PMX.
PMX type fund, like kind of like Fund House, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah,
Um,
we're
and
super keen on just like that whole liquidity provision market with PMX, and there's a lot of
yeah,
people kind of stepping into it already, building on top of it. So
I've seen that, yeah, and I think Meteor is gonna push that a lot because that's
yeah,
to me, that's like a super bullish vertical for Meteor to tap, just because there's so much money to be made in prediction markets right now.
hmm well,
So,
and
I'm
that really
hopeful.
gets into what's really beautiful about that is like there's risk in DLMing. We're talking about impermanent loss if a meme coin
Yeah.
rugs. With the PMX stuff, you're literally just fronting liquidity and just earning fees. There's
Yep.
no there's no downside other than like maybe PMX going down or PMX not paying you. Like PMX is the the factor that you have to account for. But other than that, like it's just straight fees. It's really interesting.
Yeah, no, it's
Well,
gonna be interesting
let
to
us
follow that.
know because we would also like to not promote something like this, but like partner with something like this. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of our users are thinking the same way we are in terms of like we want products that do this. Like for me, I think, and I've kind of coined this actually, is the systematic trading meta where we're seeing like Algon and hedge money and a few of these kind of like DLMM, like these systematic trading products that are popping up. And what's cool about them is they're basically like tokenized systematic trading teams. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of weed, by the way. Shout out weed on here. This is I got the Tolly tweet. But yeah.
This has been in our
Are you
range for a
playing the
while.
game? Is your farm looking good? You might
Waiting for
not wanna
season
say that on
2.
stream, right? You might get raided.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Waiting
Yeah,
for season 2.
yeah.
Yeah, Dom's farm is doing well. I'm just buying his weed that he's selling into the market.
Josh, we can
Uh,
OTC some if you want, dude.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. No,
But
but
then
I
I don't
think
earn
the
fees.
the thesis for weed, real quick, is that he deploy or distributed the currency into the game, but then you need it for like season 2, apparently. So that's my little thesis.
yeah, a lot of those weapons are really expensive in that game, so I'm sure you might see a pump there with people buying weed
We've got
or
a
using it.
virus position right now on our
I
DLMM
saw.
wallet. So
Yeah.
we're waiting for that season 2 to take off, and we'll make a nice little penny hopefully that we can
I mean,
reverse some of that.
good looking charts here, guys,
Yeah.
on virus weed.
Yeah, yeah. We're with you, man. But Seed's looking great in and of itself. I guess whether you guys think more about this fund, whether you guys get into PMX vertical, I don't know. There's so many options. There's no need to rush into it. But yeah, this chart's looking great just alone right here.
So
Yeah, and
do
if
you
you remember, like we were on this show like about 3 months ago, end of August, and at that level, we were just teetering on a 100K market cap, and now it's been really exciting with Automate's release. We're getting up to that 300K level.
Yeah, the product's much more fleshed out now, I feel like. Yeah, it's nice to see, man. You guys are crushing. So sweet. I think we really covered a ton here. You kind of pilled us, I think, today just by showing us, walking us through like the different ways to do it. And yeah, like Josh said, we're really interested in the PMX vertical, the DLM vertical in general. So if there's any way, anything you guys get interested in, if you want to dip in, if you're dipping your toes into that, loop us in. We'd love to be included, involved. So, dude, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
and
thank you
just
for having us again.
one final plug is that we are doing our closed beta testing right now for that really cool Starseed Automate suite. So if you or any of your viewers want to get involved, just reach out to Batman, reach out to me, our Twitter, on our Discord, and we can whitelist you a wallet for you and your friends and let you get in the driver's seat of testing out Starseed Automate.
Yeah, let's do that, Dom. We might even put up some show treasury for that and see if we can
Oh
make a little
boy.
money.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can do it live. We'll
Yeah,
stream it.
Get those
Cool.
season 2
Cool.
Met points, man.
yeah.
That's what we need, dude. That's what it's all about. Batman, we saw you posted at least one of your wallets there. You did pretty good, man. You made out like a bandit there.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with mine. Like I'm well over a 200K Met token. So I
Wow,
mean, I'm happy with
congrats.
it. I love it. I'm
Like,
excited.
Oh, that'll do something. Yeah.
please, like, DM us. Like, if you see an opportunity, be like, Josh, like, Dom, like, make it easy for us. We'll talk about it so everyone else can find out about it. Like, we really like handhold MCG so we can help our audience. At the end of the day, like, we want people to show up to the show, and like, I think this is a good activity in crypto for people to learn. I want people to
Absolutely.
learn and do well and not feel like they have to always LARP into meme coins. Like,
Yeah.
that's why ICM exists. That's why the show exists. So, if you're listening, we're wanting help, because if we can learn, then you guys can learn. So
And like, we're always happy to pop on and join you if you just want to talk strategy about any kind of tokens. We're always watching the markets. We're always thinking about how to make money with DLMMs. So we're happy to be a resource for you if you ever want us to hop back on.
Yeah, we do these trader spaces, and as the ICM market picks up more in general with these launches and stuff. We're gonna try to set more time aside to do less interviews and more just market watch, live trenching, etc. So maybe we'll loop you guys into that a bit more. But you did the plug on the beta. What about where can people find you guys? You guys do Starseed Academy. You teach a bunch of this stuff. Like, you've been an incredible resource for Meteor and the LP Army. Tell us where we can find some of that and keep up with you guys.
Yeah, sure. So you can find us anywhere here on X. You can find us on Discord. You can find us on Telegram. Just head on over to starseed.dev and you can see all our links there. And of course, as Razor said, we're doing that closed beta right now. So if you want to get in, just message any of us, even the team account here on X, and we'll get you in.
Sweet, you guys rock. We appreciate you guys coming. Razor, anything you want to end there with, or just let Batman take it?
Batman can have it. He's a god.
There we go, man. That's high praise. All right, guys, thanks for coming on. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thank you, Josh and Dinero.
Of course.
Thanks,
All right,
everyone.
man.
All right,
Peace.
peace.
dude, my mind is blown.
Yeah,
This
it's. I mean,
feels-
it's the right way to do it.
It is.
It's
It's
the right
the
way
right
to
way
do
to
it.
do it. It feels like I discovered Poloniex in 2016 and thought, oh my God, like, this is the next thing. Like, this feels like that. And yeah.
Yeah, and not to like harp on the chart here, because like Starseeds, I'm sure listening to this still, but like, dude, this
Critique, it
chart
looks
looks
good. It looks phenomenal. Like,
like,
if
and
this had a
300K
300K, I'm
feels
like,
cheap too. Like, man, just how many strong hands that think about it, man. Who's buying it down here at 100K, right? Came on our show. People buying it
yeah,
down here are the people who understand the technology, understand the power of DLLM. And so like, dude, these guys don't want to sell, right? These
yeah.
holders don't want to sell. Again, this is okay. This is 10K in volume on the day. Like, there's just no sellers. They just want to hold this and rock it
And
out. And
you
as the
have
automation
the
comes,
MET
maybe they,
TGE like catalysts here.
yeah, Starseed feels cheap, dude,
Bro,
compared to a
this
lot of
this
other
feels
things.
like it could be like, not to speculation Josh it, but this feels like it could be in the millions if this catches on a little bit.
Wow, you heard it here, guys. Yeah, no, I was actually the last couple of days I've been watching for an entry, especially since these pumps, and it's just not providing. Maybe I have to open a DLM through Starseed and just start TCAing real quick.
Yeah.
But cool stuff, dude. That was a really interesting conversation today, and I love the visuals. Visuals like hit home, I think, in a big way, especially when I saw
Yeah.
the thing right there where DCA is
The
down
bid
and
ask, yeah.
the bid ask. Yeah, that's the way to
Yeah,
put it.
yeah.
So
I have the virus guy, War Tuna, was on C Club this morning. His segment looks like 8 minutes long. Do you want just to pull it up and play it? I'd love to hear what he said, because I'm obviously invested in this game, and then maybe that gives us a little ammo with our conversation on Thursday. If
sure.
you're down with it.
Remember at 2:30 we are on. Adam's gonna have us on star.fun just to like kind of talk to one of the
Yeah. Okay,
founders.
we
So we don't have
should be
much time
good
there.
for that. I have it pulled
Okay.
up here, and it's just an 8-minute segment, it looks like. So
I'm gonna toggle off screen,
know.
go to the bathroom real quick, and I'll let you rock.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm just gonna play this because I'm interested as someone who just recently bought weed. Like again, my thesis on weed right now is just that it is a currency in the game that you need to win $300,000, and I'm wondering if that performs. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and just play this segment, and I will ask in the chat, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear this well? Because Dom is not here with me right now.
Yeah, so they just had a big launch, I guess, a week or 2 ago, took over the timeline for a couple days, something he'd been, I think, shared with us when he was here. Bring him on up, guys. So let's check in on that. It was maybe one of these Eiffel Tower type of things that David was talking about, but
it's our
curious to
guy,
learn
we're
how
Tuna.
that went.
Tuna. Yo, what's up? How's it going? What's up, man? Great to chat again. We love having these return guests where we got the preview of the thing, and then now we get the recap of the thing. Yes, you're co-founder of Pandemic Labs, which is an ICM game studio that's creating experiences that are only possible on chain, really focused on kind of viral drops. And I think your latest drop was Addicted.fun, which was like a drug dealing simulation game. So I think we should just start there. I would love your kind of reflections on how it went. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to play, but I saw it on the timeline. I saw the weed. Can we do a little
1.5x speed?
Bro, I felt late. I saw it the first 2 hours and I already felt late. People were just like in it so incredibly fast.
What are you talking about?
We got jobs,
okay,
man.
but I
got
could.
jobs.
Yeah. Right. You can't everyone can't be fully diligent. Totally understand. Okay, but yeah, let me go through and also like thanks for having me back. Like it's cool to recap and reflect what happened during the season 1. Basically, for anyone who don't know, Addicted, we ship a game called Addicted, which is a drug dealing game that's built on Solana. Launched a couple weeks ago and quickly I think became one of the most viral crypto game in this year. I think the launch video hit 2 million views within like 24 hours, and 50 million trading volume happened in like 48 hours. 200,000 packs have been sold in the first week, and yeah, we basically flipped pump funds revenue like right after the launch. We made about like 3.5 mil in revenue in like just 2 days. It was like crazy viral. Like Threat Guy and Frank and everyone just like keeps spamming our DM, which is intense. But to recap everything, I guess everyone says that Web3 game is dead, but it's actually not. Like it's just that you need to crack the right format of the new type of entertainment that's built on a blockchain. And I think we did quite a good job on that.
Can you just give us
anyway, yeah,
30-second overview of how the game worked? I think there were a bunch of like drug tokens and yeah, just tell us how that worked.
Okay. So the game mechanics is pretty simple. When you start a game, you pay 0.5 Sol to build your first like level 1 wheat farm. And once you set up your wheat farm, you start mining a token called wheat token. And you can just keep earning. And this, by the way, this token is fully tradable. So like you're earning real money from your virtual wheat farm. And you can of course sell it to the market to make money, but also you can reinvest this wheat token to buy packs. And you can just like rip packs, and instead of getting Pokemon cards, you get different kinds of strains, like OG Kush, Godfather OG, and everything. And basically what happened is that these like weed like strains have a different amount of grow power, and it gives you basically better. Basically, you can earn more weed token. The gameplay is pretty simple. Just keep running your wheat farm and keep reinvesting it to upgrade your wheat farm to maximize the chance of like getting more wheat token, and you basically to sell or just keep playing to prepare for season 2. But yeah, that's the game.
So I'm very curious what you think you got right, and maybe more importantly, what you got wrong.
Yeah, I think what we got right was basically 2 things. One is the theme. As I told you guys in the last episode, our single focus is virality. That's the core principle, and we make every type of decision based on that. And what people like the most about Addicted is the theme, like drug dealing, like building your wheat farm. Basically, people kept like flexing their wheat farm on a timeline, and that's how we got that's how we went viral. That's one thing. And also the second thing is the experience of like basically making money. For example, like other type of speculation game is of course like a meme coin, right? But it's just pump and dump. You join the pre-sale or whatever and then sell it to exit liquidity. But for Addicted, you really can't buy a token like that. You have to set up your own wheat farm and wait for it until you earn enough amount of token to earn money. And also, if that was the only game mechanics, the game will be dead within like a few hours. But this game token actually have a utility to use and reinvest to keep playing the game. And all the wheat tokens that's spent on the farm upgrades or buying packs will be burned. We've already, more than like 40% of the total supply, I think, have been burned so far from all the farm upgrades and all that. I think that like that made everyone more bullish on the game and helped the game.
Sorry, what did he say there? Sorry.
So more than 40% of the tokens, the weed tokens, have already been burned.
So wait, distributed or burned? Like
Burned.
burned for pack upgrades?
Yes.
So what?
Burned for upgrading farms, burned
Okay,
for packs,
here.
burned.
So let's here's the tokenomic structure. You build a farm, you earn weed, you put it into packs, then it's gone and burned, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what's circulating on the market is just what people have sold.
What's circulating on the market is, what people have liquid and what they're selling. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So like right now it says market cap is 4.6. If 40% have been sold or burned, excuse me, it would probably, be more like 2.9.
Jeez,
million,
bro.
2.8 million.
All right, I'm thinking weed is a great trade here. We'll see if this ages well. All right, I'm going to continue.
Connect succeeded. What we did wrong, I think, was like one, the game mechanics was like inspired by like Bitcoin mining mechanics, where you try to increase your hash rate and mine more wheat token, but then of course like this hash rate is dependent on the number of other players and also how like the power of the other players, and over time there'll be more players joining and they'll try to power up more and more, meaning you will get less wheat token every second like over time. But yeah, that was like not super easy to understand, and people were like quite confused, like that they thought they'll get certain amount of wheat token a day, but instead they get half like later.
Was there any desire to make this kind of longer lasting? Like I'm looking at the wheat chart and it ripped from nothing to like 90 million back down to kind of 4 now. Obviously, if your sole goal is to go viral, having very speculative Ponzi mechanics is a very useful tool to do that. So I'm curious, I guess, balancing the kind of longevity of the game.
Yeah, I mean, so the second point of the mistake that we made is that our plan is like, it is true, like it's really speculative. So like if you lose the momentum, the chart will immediately die. So we wanted to move on to season 2 right after the hype. But the problem is that the chart went crazy. Like on a day 1, it went from 1 mil to like, it was like not even 1 mil. Like it was like started from like 100K to 80 mil, like within a day. Like there was like a too much hype that happened at the start. And also there was like some.
You heard it here on MCG at 2 million before it ran to 80 million, just so you know.
Yeah, that was
dumb with the call. We should have just aped it right then on stream. I don't know what we were thinking, but anyways, I'll continue.
Inside that, this basically we couldn't ship season 2 right after season 1, and that basically the gap time made
you're asking me why I didn't
less
play the
bullish.
game. That's why I didn't play the game. Like thing went nuts like right away, and it was crazy to me because I feel like, I mean, the Wii token are over, but and having chatted with you, we know that your game plan is to get really good at doing these types of things. So, Addicted and ultimately building viral sort of crypto games. And so seeing the disjointedness between, the core token for your organization and the game is also fairly interesting to me.
I guess like, I mean, our type of game, like Infected, our previous game was meant to be meant to be played for like 7 days, right? This game is also the same. Like it's built for short, like we focus on like one specific like virality, momentum focus. So like it was not meant to be played for like a month. But of course, like, we didn't build the game just for like a couple of days. So I guess like we should have like prepared well to ship season 2, like right after.
Is that coming up? You got season 2 coming up?
So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about it later. Yeah, but so we just finished the audit yesterday, and yeah, basically.
Is it season 2 of the like Weed game, or season 2 of Pandemic Labs, which is like a completely new drop?
It's built on top of Addicted. So basically, our plan was that this Bitcoin mining mechanics is really well designed to distribute this like token to game players instead of like speculators or like like short-term traders, because like you need a farm to mine wheat token. So yeah, like basically season 2 is built around this like in-game like wheat token economy, so to say, and you have better odds of winning based on like how well you play in season 1.
Interesting. So we have a chance to get back in, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but we don't know what the fuck we're doing, so we're screwed.
Yeah,
We don't know
what
what
you're
we're doing,
saying.
but we can figure it out.
I mean, I do trust that we could figure it out. All right, so when is Addicted Season 2 coming out? And
Oh.
I mean, yeah, give me the hype pitch here, because we were here a couple months ago doing this. You went on to Rock and Roll. We want to be early again.
Right, yeah. By the way, like, let me just ask one question. Like, can you see my screen, like in my face? Like, there's like fully
Oh yeah,
black
we
on
got
my
you. We got you.
screen now.
Don't worry, people can see your beautiful face here.
Okay. All right. So yeah, season 2. Basically, we built Squid Game
Okay.
on Solana. If you could survive 7 days, you get the biggest prize in crypto history. I think in terms of like the survival game. You take home 300K, and
Survive
the
what?
game is.
What am I surviving?
I mean, yeah, so that's the detail I'm going through. Just chill out, bro. Basically, it's like a Beast Games or like Squid Game. Like there's like each quest. There's a unique quest that set it up for each day, and the game is fully focused on social games. Basically, you have to basically like make alliance or like backstab your teammates or like other teammates to complete the mission and survive that day. If you could repeat that for 7 days, you take home 300K. Yeah, like I can't speak about the exact quest that will happen, but I would say though, this is like more focused on social games rather than like season 1 type, like how much funds you can put into like at the right time, if that makes sense. It's more of like, yeah, I mean, the wheat token aspect, there's a wheat token aspect, but the main game mechanics is more about playing social games. Yeah.
All right, so when's that launching?
So we're gonna drop the countdown tomorrow.
So the announcement of the announcement
That's
is here on 11 a.m.
Yo, why are you being so spicy, man?
announcement.
By the goods, baby.
Yeah, we tried to.
Listen,
why
we're
are you
here
being
for the
so
announcement.
spicy?
Yeah, that's not shade. That's
Our
not
job
shade.
is to tease out as much information as possible and
Well-
see where you draw your line. So
Yeah, you get to draw your line.
You know what? Like, I mean, I cannot be like, I can't speak about the specific like game mechanics, the quest or the launch day. But what I wanted to get back for the 11 a.m. was that there's an immunity pass from the day one elimination, and yeah, I was just like thinking it's cool to maybe give away some potion to people who are watching stream right now.
hell yeah.
Immune for day one.
So-
One step closer to a $300,000 prize by not dying on day one. Knowing you're not going to die on day one, pretty bullish.
What do people need to do to get? What do people need
Yeah.
to do to get the immunity?
I don't know, man. Should maybe like make comments on the 11 a.m. tweets or
Okay.
something like that.
All right,
I'll leave it to you, but yeah,
here's
like
what we'll do. We'll say for anybody who wants to give us the good case why they deserve not to die, don't die on day one. They can drop it here below the stream. We'll also clip this, and people can enter on the clip as well. We'll choose a random winner. We'll tell you, Tuna, and you can go ahead and make sure that they get that genius big free prize for day one. Sound good? Love it.
100%. Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man. Well, it was fun.
Cool. Interesting. He didn't really spill much or any details in terms of like any sort of token structure, tokenomics. When's he on? He's on Thursday, right? So the countdown clock will be live already based on what he just mentioned there.
Yeah. And I think they got a shout out from Tolly as well or something, or Tolly just tweeted about it.
Yeah, just now.
So I don't know, dude. We saw how viral the first one went. I guess obviously people are propping up price right now, thinking the second season will be viral. But if it truly does go viral, it probably goes a lot higher. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. I love me a good Ponzi, so why not?
Yeah. Cool guys. Well, I think we'll cap stream there. What's tomorrow? We have Orgo and Dev Fund Pump. Which
That'll be cool.
yeah, I'm excited about. So make sure you're on tomorrow. And did they you saw that they actually asked about timing, so got to confirm that. But yeah, and then Thursday addicted.fun will be 2 days after that stream right there. So hopefully you have more details to go by, because yeah, we want to know.
Sweet. Okay, we got to jump, guys. We're gonna be on Adam's the start off fun stream here. I'm not sure what we're
GGs.
expecting.